ladies and gentlemen, to World of Watches TV, the only watch show on the planet where a $9,000 price tag is actually a discount. My name is Megan.
I'm Wiley.
And we are so excited to have you guys joining us today. I am being facetious about that, but it is true because not only would a $9,000 price, maybe that's something you'll see, but that could be on a watch where
That's
the actual
$40,000 or
retail price
$50,000.
is $40,000 or $50,000. So the name of the game really is incredible, incredible savings. And because we are officially, I'm saying we're officially in holiday season. We've had Rosh Hashanah just past us. We are less than 3 months away from the start of the holiday season and almost 3 months away from Christmas. So now is the time to start your holiday shopping. What we're going to show you today in the next 3 hours means every single item will not only be incredibly discounted, but every single item will also be on 5 interest-free monthly payments. So that means you don't even have to break the bank. You don't have to pay the total price right now. You can just put down 1/5 of the total price and lock in an interest-free payment plan. And how great is this? We're going to ship you your order after that first payment. In most cases, that will be tomorrow, next business day.
We know you have a lot of options when it comes to shopping, and there's a lot of websites out there that you can choose from. Please know that when you're shopping with us, you are shopping with folks who are watchmakers, watch designers. We not only know these products, we love them. I mean, inside and out. And we know who you are, those, whether you're the casual collector or the person that has the extensive collection of watches, we want to make sure that what we have for you is at the very best price and the best selection. Nobody out there goes from that $39 watch to the $39,000 watch. And whether you're just watching for the entertainment value of seeing these beautiful, beautiful items.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Well, yes, but you're far more expensive than $39,000.
That's right, and it's very stressful. No stress-free payments with me.
2, 3, 4. Now, that is one of the things we do have to mention. We do have stress-free payments. Sometimes you'll see that pop up as one of our little items
Graphics,
down there.
yeah.
Thank you.
There we go.
And when you see that, you're going to, what does that mean? It means that we will send you that item as soon as you make one stress-free payment on your credit card. Let's say if it's a $100 item and it's on 5 payments, that's $20. When you make that first $20 payment, no interest on the remaining $80, and we'll send you the product the next business day. So we're looking forward to maybe making a watch that may seem a little unattainable, very attainable, and with as little stress as possible.
So our first and third hours today are going to be kind of a mixed bag. We're going to show you lots of high-end Swiss-made watches. We'll show you some great trendy pieces and some amazing items and styles from our own company-owned brands. But our middle hour, the meat in our watch sandwich, if you will be an entire hour devoted to Maurice Lacroix watches. Those are high-end Swiss-made watches. We've got something for everyone from every one of their collections. And here's the kicker. Every single watch that you purchase in that second hour, our special Maurice Lacroix hour, every single watch will include, dun-dun-dun, the 10-slot black watch box.
Really?
That's right. Every single watch in that second hour. And if it helps to sweeten the deal, you can buy the 10-slot black watch box, but we don't even have it on the TV price and payments for the shows today and tomorrow. That is why it's only available during the second hour. Of course, you can go to WorldofWatches.com and purchase it at the regular website on sale price, but we are giving it for free to every single person that buys a Maurice Lacroix watch in the second hour. But we'll get to that in about 60 minutes or so. First things first, we're going to jump into a preview and show you what's coming up in our first of 3 hours together. Something for everyone. Ready, set, take it away.
Wow. Whoa. Lucien Piccard. Now, that's one of our brands. We happen to be the caretakers of this great moniker, this nomenclature in watches. And here is the Camelot. Now, this is a very traditional watch, but it is at an incredible price. Now, if you're looking for that watch for someone that really is going to be great for the office and is going to be a great everyday watch, and you have to consider this Lucien Piccard Camelot chronograph. And we show you this live in just a few minutes. Both Megan and I love rose tone gold. And over stainless steel, it is more than affordable right now because this $500 watch is under $100. So we'll show you that in just a few minutes. And right behind that, certainly giving a flair to the Miami sort of lifestyle.
Absolutely. 280-916, a brand new style from Glamrock. We brought Glamrock watches out about 2 weeks ago on the show after nearly a 2-year hiatus. They're doing so well. We know how much you guys and gals love Glamrock and the incredible savings. So we're bringing out a new collection today, the Racetrack GMT. That's right. This is a $700 watch that you're getting for $100. But even better are the 5 payments. Remember, every single item on the show today is on 5 interest-free payments. Here, you've got a GMT. That means you have a secondary time zone on that one dial. You've also got a polished carbon fiber dial. Notice that racing-inspired look with how all of the stainless steel is done in a matte finish. 280916. Again, your price is $100, but even better, I say use the payments. You can get a $700 watch home for your first payment of $20 down. 280916.
Right behind that is one of my favorite watches, and you know, a favorite for many of you out there, and that is going to be the Precisionist by WorldofWatches. It's the most accurate quartz movement on the planet. Now, if you happen to have a quartz movement on your wrist right now, if you have one of those watches, it's running at 32 kilohertz, and it's going to keep track of time within 10 to 15 seconds per month. The Precisionist, without any aid of any outside source, can be accurate down to 10 seconds per year. And it's the only chronograph with a 1/1000th of a second indice at the 6 o'clock position. You're going to love this watch. It is big, it is bold, and it is truly at a fraction of the price. $500 off the retail price or more. You better believe it. Only $74 gets it home. The WorldofWatches Precisionist. Wait till you see it on my wrist. You're going to want one too.
All right. Well, first things first, we're going to get to both my and Wiley's top picks of the show. So every show, Wiley and I will pick one watch out of the entire lineup that we think deserves your attention. And being that our second hour today is our Maurice Lacroix hour, and I love Maurice Lacroix.
I do too.
I know you do. I went with a Maurice Lacroix masterpiece, a brand new one actually, for my hot pick today. Now this is a 35 millimeter hand-built Swiss-made watch. Maurice Lacroix has many different collections available, of course, as a brand. Masterpiece is in their upper echelon. Every single watch in the Masterpiece collection is hand-built. That means that these automatic movements inside are created by hand, are placed inside the cases by hand. This 35 millimeter houses the ML6066 automatic movement. That is a modified ETA automatic movement inside. They do their own decoration, as you can see here, with all of that beautiful perlage. And they skeletonize a portion of the rotor with the Maurice Lacroix logo. All of that's done by hand inside. You can see right in there, that is the beating heart of your automatic movement. Now looking around at the front of the watch of this beautiful mother of pearl dial, all of the texture and detail work done inside the dial is also done by hand. So you have a true guilloche dial. You'll notice you've got a number of different hands on this one watch. Well, actually, a lot of things going on here. Let me grab a little pointer here while I show you a little tour around the timepiece. You'll notice all genuine mother of pearl here. And at the 6 o'clock position, of course, you see the word Swiss made on either side of a little diamond there. But just above that, you have a true moon phase calendar. That, once you set it correctly, will go throughout the entire month and show you quarter moon, half moon, and full moon complication down there. You've got an outer edge here where all of your hour markers and diamonds are placed, but an inner ring there where you'll see a 31 calendar. That is for that little hand right there. That is your calendar. That's your actual date. But then here, notice that you've got the day of the week and the calendar month. This is called a perpetual calendar. You know how that watch that you've probably got on your wrist right now just shows the calendar date? And sometimes if there aren't 31 days in a month, you have to advance the date? Here, you never have to do that. In fact, the only time you'll ever have to advance the date is every 4 years when there's a leap year. So you set this one time with the month, the day of the week, and the calendar date, and you will never have to set it again until another leap year. Now, your watch also has quite a bit of bling on it, and in fact, you have 83 points of diamonds. 50 of those diamonds are reflected inside the actual stainless steel bezel. Then you've got 4 diamonds placed on that mother of pearl dial. So you're at just under a full carat of diamonds on a hand-built Swiss-made watch. Are you ladies getting any idea why this is the kind of watch that does retail for $8,800? Diamonds, mother of pearl, hand-built, Swiss-made craftsmanship. Now, it's a 35-millimeter case. I tend to think it looks a little bit larger on the wrist thanks to the way the lugs just bow out ever so slightly. The actual alligator strap on here can accommodate a wrist size at maximum of 8 inches. So ladies, there is some wiggle room. Whether you've got a 6-inch wrist like I do or up to an 8-inch wrist, you can see on that strap that you could have even under a 6-inch wrist and very easily fit into this just fine. Our price is $2,700. And remember, in the second hour, when we present this watch again, every single watch sold in the second hour will include the 10-slot black watch box. So my hot pick gives you a bit of a BOGO, if you will. You're going to buy this incredible hand-built Swiss-made Maurice Lacroix with 83 points of diamonds and mother of pearl. I mean, it's gorgeous.
Where is Megan? What have you done with her? Because you are usually
know,
the
I'm getting
person
so
of the
fancy.
people. Usually I'm the one picking that watch, and I've chosen something simpler but elegant, but that's a high-end watch. I'm amazed that this is an $8,800 watch for this price. Only $540 gets it.
That's what's so amazing. Every single item's on 5 payments, right? So think about it. It's an $8,800 watch.
It's amazing.
But if you can put down $540, we ship it to you. There's no World of Watches credit card. You're not taking out a line of credit. You are borrowing our own money here. We are shipping you a watch. Think about that. $540 for an $8,800 watch, and you get the watch box for free.
But that's the watch. If you look at that style, look at it for a second. That's the watch that other watch companies try to look like.
Oh my God, of course.
You know what I'm saying? They'll use crystals, or they'll use imitation mother of pearl.
Absolutely.
Or they'll do something to, like a Croco embossed.
Oh no, this is Croco.
The real deal. Well, for all of you who are getting that, Megan has truly picked a hot pick, and that is an $8,800 watch for under $2,700. And we're going to guarantee it's the lowest price out there, and you're going to love it.
Thank you.
Now, I'll tell you why I picked my hot pick. I'm going to let you read. This is a dangerous situation. I'm going to let you read what a friend of mine on Facebook, because I posted a watch that I purchased, and this was his response. Read that one right there.
Wiley, stop taking so many selfies. Oh, wait,
Oh, I'm so sorry. Tony? Tony.
His friend wrote, what is a good watch for a 30-ish-year-old man who wants to look more successful than he actually is?
Okay, I love that.
In
other words,
that.
he's asking the question of what's a big boy
I'm
watch?
balling on a budget. How do I do that?
That's it. How do you have a legitimate, no apologies watch that really says, I'm up and coming? I mean, do you really have to arrive before you have that high-end watch?
Absolutely not.
I suppose if you walked into the jewelry store and you saw a watch and they tell you it's, $1,300, you're going to go, oh, that's nice. I guess, if I get the promotion or, I get Megan's job, something like that, then you might go ahead and you might go for like a really big boy watch or a big girl watch. What I love about this watch is, first and foremost, it is the name that is attached to it, because I know that there is quality the moment Eterna is involved. Eterna has been building watches since 1856. They are the folks who created the ETA movement. In fact, this watch has the ETA 955 movement on the inside. It's a 40-millimeter case. It has 30 meters of water resistance. Even though it's a dress watch, if you get pushed in the pool or caught in the rain or whatever, the watch is going to hold up. It does have the Croco embossed leather strap, but look at this. Even though the watch is 40 millimeters in the case, look how thin this watch is. When you realize there's a case back, there is a movement, there is a space between the dial and the crystal for the hands, and all of this within this beautiful structure. Sapphire crystal. If you'd walked into the store and said, oh wow, that watch is $1,300, that may be a little bit more than I wanted to spend. This is what's blowing me away right now. For under $190, you're getting that $1,300 watch. Now, actually, the one I recommended to him was the one. We do have another version of this that has a bracelet on it, a stainless steel bracelet. I had suggested that one, and it was just a little bit more money. This is an incredible value. Now, realize that when you're getting the Eterna Artina for this price point, you're getting the watch. I mean, go price out other Eterna watches. You're not going to find any of them out there at $190. You might find them for $1,900 or $2,900 or $3,900, but you're not going to find it at this price point. I am delighted that we have these, and every single time that we get these in, they end up, I'm going to put them as my hot pick. I want as many people as possible to have an opportunity to get this watch. I think you're going to be amazed when you realize the value that is here. Now, take a look at this on my 6 3/4 inch wrist, and you realize that is just, I mean, that's just the right size. Now, there is still room to cinch this down even tighter. There is a very reasonable amount of strap here that if you had a much larger wrist than I do, I mean, wouldn't you say that this kind of fits that criteria?
This is one of those watches that it's a Swiss-made watch, ladies and gentlemen. So automatically you see a $1,300 price point. You think, all right, well, of course it's Swiss-made. I've always been so skeptical. I know you were too in the beginning when we were airing this watch. We used to air this watch, remember, for $220 on the shows. And we were selling out every single episode. So we've further dropped the price. And I feel like this is one of those watches where every gentleman really should own it, because I love that your friend asked you, you know, what's a watch that makes it look like I've made it. A lot of times you can get an imitation or an inspired design, but this is not an inspired design. This is the real deal. You're not buying a watch that looks dressy and therefore you can wear it with a suit. You're buying an actual watch that is Swiss made. So I think that's just one of the best benefits of this is not only the price, but the fact that, yeah, you can look like you've made it, but you have made it because you are wearing something of such inherent quality. For under 40 bucks. I mean, $38 down. You know I love to always compare what do you buy in the real world versus what you could spend here. $38 down. I mean, that is so affordable for a $1,300 Swiss-made watch. I mean, that's such a great deal. I can't. It's such a good. You and I really have switched roles, haven't we? You're so affordable today, and I'm so stuck up and fancy with my hot pick.
But you know what? I think it's really good to show everybody out there that, you know, at times I do have a little bit more expensive taste when it comes to some of our watches, because we have an opportunity to see beautiful things. But just because a person has extremely good taste, does that mean it has to be expensive?
No, of course not.
You know, I was talking to one of the guys here back in the warehouse, and he was just talking about some of the very simple watches that he enjoys, and it, almost like apologetically. And I thought, you know, if you love the watch, you love the watch. This watch is a $1,300 watch that you're getting for under $190. Congratulations to all of you who are picking up that top pick, my hot pick. You're going to love this 243663. Garrett, there is your watch. Go ahead and get that in stainless steel. Or if you choose with this beautiful Croco embossed leather strap, you're going to love that watch. And it's going to look great.
It really does.
And we'll even pay for shipping. What do you think about this Bulova? Talking about dress watches.
You know what's amazing about this is, I know it's a men's watch technically. You know I love two-tone watches. This is the kind of thing I could see myself wearing.
I'm going to be careful in saying this because I'm sure somebody out there is going to keel over when I say it. Does this kind of have a bit of a Michael Kors flair to it?
Well, I think that they both are inspired by that sort of boyfriend style, that upscale men's dress watch that men and women can both wear.
Now, whether this is just a classic configuration that Michael Kors and Bulova have both pulled from, this 40mm cased watch with this beautiful two-tone, you have that beautiful 18-karat gold plating over, over the stainless steel. And you have that classic three-hand configuration. You have the piston-style pushers for the chronograph. I'm going to put this on in just a moment, but I really want to see this on your wrist because I think you're exactly right. This is the size and the style that a lot of ladies are wearing. I am kind of blown away that this Bulova is under $100. Take a peek at that. Now I'm going to slip this on my wrist real quick. I want Megan to put this on and see what she thinks. Take a peek.
I love two-tone. I really think that whether a gentleman or a lady gets a watch like this, to me, two-tone watches have the most versatility because it goes with all of your jewelry. Perhaps maybe your wedding band is white gold or platinum or yellow gold. You wear that every single day. This is a staple watch. You could wear it every single day. I tend to, and you know this, I like to wear the same sort of style of jewelry, whether it's all rose gold one day or all silver one day. So I like things to match. That's why a watch like this, you could wear it every single day with any of your other jewelry.
I love the fact that the stainless steel is in a brushed finish, and then you have this high mirror polish to really make that gold tone pop on here. Now this on my 6 3/4 inch wrist is a perfect size. I love 40 mil. In fact, the watch that I just purchased is on the other wrist, and it really is it's the right size for me. But I want you to see that even a gentleman's size watch can be the right size for a lady. So here's a 40 millimeter watch, handing it to Megan. Now you tell me what you think about that, if that's something you'd wear.
You know what's interesting is because I wear 39 and 40 millimeter watches, and you'll see that this one does fit a 6-inch wrist. But what's interesting about it is it's still constructed, I think, with a gentleman in mind, because it's a slimmer case overall, and it's a relatively flat case. You'll notice that it's not a bulky watch. It's not a tall watch at all. It's a little bit more flat, and that's to fit underneath a dress shirt or a cuff shirt. Now notice that the lug area is a little bit wider here. It's going to wear just slightly over that measured 40 millimeter case, but it still does size down to a lady's wrist. In fact, my 6-inch wrist, you can see there's no gapping, there's no spacing, and then the bracelet length can easily accommodate nearly a 9-inch wrist maximum. So it is something for everyone. And look at the price. I mean, if you need a new watch, if you want to try something out and you've got $20 on any credit card, you've got at least $20 available on a credit card, we'll ship you a $350 watch. I mean, this is the kind of thing where you don't expect to get quality like this. Go to the malls. You'll see Bulova there. You'll see Michael Kors. You'll see Glamrock. You'll see all of the designers, all of the collections that we carry on the show and on our website, WorldofWatches.com. And we always guarantee the lowest possible price. If you can find it somewhere for less, we match that price for the first 30 days. 286-866 is the item number for this 40 millimeter two-tone chronograph from Bulova.
That's a nice watch.
Going from very classic to super duper sporty. Something again that I think everybody can enjoy, albeit in a larger case size at 43 millimeters.
I'm not sure if Luminox realized back in 1989 when they first came out with their first collection of watches that they would kind of be a standard for the rough and tough military watch. That they would be able to conquer land, sea, air, and space with their watches. Yes, they try to make something for everybody, and whether your feet are firmly planted on the ground or literally in orbit, you're going to love what Luminox has to offer. Now, it's an all Swiss-made watch. And this is probably one of the most comfortably padded straps on a watch. I mean, that is almost like pillow top on that, but incredibly durable and rugged. You're going to love the two-tone on it. Now, this watch, of course, as you come in closer, is going to be one of those watches that you're not going to hesitate to take it out in the water. Why? Because not only is the watch water resistant, but it has a uni-rotating bezel. Notice it will not go back in the other direction. Only rotates in one direction. That's one of the criteria you need for a dive watch. Then it has 200 meters of water resistance, all within this slimline case. Now you can see that screw down back is going to help add to that water resistance. You can see certainly some of the information you want to know. That's the anti-reflective coating on that sapphire crystal. You're going to appreciate the fact that the watch, even though it's all blacked out, is easy to read simply by glancing at it. That's because of these little dashes you're seeing all the way around and the little dashes that you see on the hands. Well, those are tubes filled with an inert gas called tritium. Tritium constantly glows. It does not have to be held up to the light or exposed to a light source. Tritium will always glow. And in this particular watch, that configuration and color, easy to tell at a glance, and that's something you're going to appreciate. Now the watch is a 44 at 45 millimeters, right at it, and you're going to see that it is, I mean, even like I said, I like a 40 millimeter watch, so how is this one at almost 10% bigger than what I normally wear? Well, I think you're going to see that it's a perfect fit. Take a look at this. Now I think this on my 6 3/4 inch wrist is, again, a great size. One of the things that being here at Swiss Watch International, which happens to be North America's leading seller of Swiss watches, is they've really shown me that the larger size watches that you can wear and it be comfortable if it's designed right. Now maybe you've seen watches out there and you go, I'm not going to wear over this size because it doesn't fit me. Well, that watch may not have been anatomically, structurally designed to fit the wrist well. I assure you that Luminox is one of the companies that knows how to make a watch fit. It has to be comfortable, it has to be durable, and you'll notice that even at 45 millimeters, there's still room to cinch it down if I had a much smaller wrist, and a generous amount of that black genuine leather strap if I had a larger wrist. Again, the watch is all Swiss made, sapphire crystal. You are going to love being able to have this professional dive insert. And Megan, correct me if I'm wrong, this is one of the rare occasions we can say with a leather strap, it's okay to get it wet.
Absolutely. The water watches from Luminox, and this is part of their modern Mariner collection. The leather straps have actually been specially treated so that you can wear them swimming and diving. Because a lot of times you don't want to do that. Most of the time with leather watches, leather straps, you don't want to get them wet. And if you were to ever get a leather strap wet, ladies and gentlemen, a little pro tip here, don't try and blow dry it, don't try and rub it, don't do anything to it. If your leather strap on a watch gets wet, outside of this Luminox, because you can get this one wet, but if you ever were to get a leather strap wet, just lay it out flat to dry and do your best to leave your hands off of it. Because blow dryers and excessive rubbing and blotting, that will just further deteriorate the strap. So don't panic, but try not to get your leather goods wet. 206-086, but this one you can swim and dive in, the Modern Mariner Collection, $340. But even better, I'm always going to tell you to use the payments. 5 interest-free payments here, $68 down, and you own a near $800 Swiss-made watch.
We're going to shift gears to one of our own brands, Lucien Piccard. We have taken over that company some years back and delighted to do so, to continue that name and the fine construction of what you're seeing right here in the Camelot. Now, this is just right at a 43 millimeter case. You're going to love that rose tone over stainless steel, and of course you're going to have that reliable Miyota OS21 movement in there. And I believe that, is that correct, Megan, on this particular watch?
This is actually the VD53 quartz chronograph movement. So it's a Japanese movement as well, yes.
What's the difference between the two?
This one is just a different caliber of movement. You'll notice that you have your 60 seconds for your chronograph when you start this. You'll notice that 6 o'clock subdial starts. And then over here, you've got your 1 hour totalizer for your chronograph. Some of the other ones will give you a 30-minute totalizer over there, but this is the VD53. Technically, you could call it the VD54 because it has the date window.
And isn't it great that you have so many complications on this watch, and it's under $100? Just taking a peek at the watch, one of the things that's going to stand out is the beautiful rose tone over stainless steel. Now, I like watches with black dials. To me, that just stands out. But by using that pop of white in that outer chapter ring for the tachometer, that really does, I make the watch a little bit more sporty, and it gives you a little bit of the choice between having that black or white on there. I like having that. You're also going to notice that the watch certainly has a lot of details covered, whether it's going to be the solid end links, it's going to be the way the lugs are shaped to give it just enough of a turn down that it allows the bracelet to drop right down on the side of the watch, all the way down to the details of the Lucien Piccard logo right there on the crown. Being able to have this watch, and again, under $100, gives you a lot of options because this watch comes in other colors, styles, and varieties. So you want to consult our website. I'm sure we have just the right one for you. But maybe you're looking for that watch for the office, that watch that easily when you go out to dinner afterward, or if you're heading out to the theater, maybe you're going on a cruise, and you want a watch that you know is going to be reliable and accurate, and you're not going to be afraid to take out in the water. But the watch also has great lume on it. Take a look, and then I'll put the watch on my wrist.
Very nice. I like that this one is all rose with the black dial, but then notice how, to keep it a little bit sportier, they left that white outer tension ring, outer dial ring there where you've got the tachymeter scale. And that's actually functional on this watch because of that big chrono hand.
You know, I love the fact that they've used Sapphitech crystal in here, which is virtually scratch resistant. I mean, it's very similar in its construction to sapphire. So you're going to have that level of scratch resistance on there. You're going to be able to go out there with confidence with this watch. The 316L stainless steel is really an industry standard, surgical grade stainless steel. So you know the watch is well constructed. The moment you pick it up, you can feel the weight of the watch, and you know that this is not your cheap disposable watch. The watch that you're, inside one of the big box stores, and you just see it at the checkout, and you go, I need a watch. This is, they have them.
Yeah, no, I
mean,
know.
literally, this is not that watch. So when you see our price point of the list price of almost $500, that's a good point of reference of what people are spending out there for watches of this caliber and style. Being able to get the watch for right at $400 is that's a little high. I mean, it's a good price, better than the $500. But look at that $99 price point. Under $100 for this Lucien Piccard Camelot chronograph 244596. Don't let it get away. And with that reliable Miyota Japanese movement in there, you're going to greatly appreciate the fact of that accuracy and reliability.
244-596, $100, or your first payment of $20. Remember, every single item is on 5 stress-free payments. Love that.
Speaking of love that, Jean Richard Aeroscope, talking about one of those watches that really wants to up the game. Here's a $5,400 watch. Why is that watch that expensive? 1, it is all Swiss made. 2, it's made of grade 5 titanium. Now, this all Swiss made watch is a 49 millimeter case. Now, it has the JR66 movement, which is a 43 joule automatic with 42 hours of power reserve. Now, there's a couple other varieties of this watch. Now, one of my favorites is the one that is in the all titanium bracelet. This particular one has the natural black rubber strap on there, and it is incredibly soft and equally as light as the all titanium. You're also going to appreciate the sandblasted DLC-coated finish that's on part of the watch. Now, I'm going to put this on in just a moment. Before that, I want you to take a look in that and realize that that brush finish you're seeing is that natural grade 5 titanium. Super lightweight all the way around. Now, the Tri-Compact's layout on there is going to give you just that peek of what's going on inside of the chronograph. Now look at the 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, and a continuously operating small second subdial at the 3 o'clock position with a stylized hand. You have 2 additional subdials for the chronograph, and a simple hit of that pusher at the 2 o'clock position is going to start, stop, and of course reset our chronograph. I think Jean Richard, you and I were talking this earlier, you had to make some choices with the Jean Richard collection of do I want to choose one? And you chose to do the Maurice Lacroix, because we know that these price points on these watches are always expensive because of the quality of materials and unusual materials such as the grade 5 titanium. Now, what do you think about that? Is that about the right size?
This is a great size. It's going to wear large on the wrist. You've got kind of a modified cushion-shaped case, so that's the square with the rounded edges and then the circular-shaped the circular-shaped bezel and dial in there. But I think it's just such a nice looking watch. And we do, as you described, have many different flavors of this watch. This is definitely one of the sportier versions. I know you love the bracelet. I love the one that has the leather strap variation.
Oh, that's right. That looks great,
I
too.
like that one looks a little bit more vintage.
But it also dresses it up, too, that if you're going to wear it as your daily watch or an office watch or a dress watch, where this is very, very sporty. And then you have that hybrid with the all-metal bracelet. But look at the price point on this.
Look how nice, though, this does look with a dress shirt. You know, I kind of got into this conversation with my boyfriend the other day because he is a bit more conservative with his style with watches. And he works with a guy. I was showing him some watches, some high-end watches, and I was telling him what I like. I like when men wear watches dressed up that have rubber straps on them. And I was telling him, you know, that's a very popular thing. He works with a guy that has a chronomat on the rubber strap.
Oh, wow.
And I was telling him, well, he wears it with a suit every day, right? And we were sort of talking about how if you have a leather strap, sometimes that makes things look infinitely dressy. A bracelet, as you said, sort of gives you that kind of balance between dressing up or dressing down. So it's really just deciding for yourself which sort of style you think you'll get the most out of. And a rubber strap like this, though, I think the rules have changed where you can wear this to the office with a suit.
And you notice if the light catches it just right, they have made the Jean Richard logo right there in the strap. You can just catch it. It's not over the top, but it's just a little bit right there. Now, I think part of what's up the game with some of these high-end watches is when Hublot, the watch manufacturer, came up with that first natural rubber strap back in 1981. It just blew everybody away, and now you're seeing all of these high-end manufacturers at least having one variety of rubber strap for their watches. Again, $5,400. Are you going to have to pay that? No. We wouldn't dare make you pay retail. $2,699.99. That's what the price is going to be midnight on Sunday. But for right now, we have a handful of these watches that you're able to get at $1,299.99. How confident are we about that price? 30-day money-back guarantee. We guarantee we'll meet or beat the price if anybody out there even begins to suggest, what that might be. How about we're going to always have free shipping for you? So we'll pay for the shipping. And if for whatever reason you have to return this watch, we will pay for the shipping for it to return and give every penny back. Only $260 is all it takes to get it home. That's your first of 5 stress-free interest-free payments. Please consider for your collection the Jean Richard Aeroscope Automatic Chronograph. You are going to love it. Now, one of, I think, the most beautiful dials that we have put on a watch is the Monteviso.
This is the best-selling dial color of any of our company-owned brand watches. We call this the Glacier Blue. And we've got it in some Swiss Legend watches and Lucien Piccard. It is hands down the best-selling dial color that we have, period.
Why aren't more people doing it? I mean,
Right?
I only know of Rolex on their solid platinum watch, which is, very, very expensive. They have a color that begins to mimic this. Of course, they came up with that color. I'm amazed at the popularity of this, that more folks haven't done it. Mm-hmm. So you can either get this watch for $49, or you could possibly get that Rolex for $49,000. But this is a great watch maybe to suggest to someone. Like, remember my friend Garrett was asking about what's a great up-and-coming watch? Well, here's a watch that certainly does fit that $300 to $400 price point. But it's so, how do you even say, well, for $10 you get the watch home?
I mean, most people out there, and I'm sure if you're in this sort of category, don't feel bad. I'm sure a lot of people right now are thinking, what the heck kind of quality can I possibly get if I'm paying $10 and they ship it to me for free?
Well, okay, let me help you out, because this was the exact same question that Garrett asked me.
Yeah.
He said, okay, I noticed on your website, like Lucien Piccard, Eleni Barocas, some of your Redline watches, how are you able to do this? I said, that middleman? The person in between? I tried to explain that often a watch...
We cut him out.
He's gone. We make the watches. Yeah. We know how much it cost. And this is probably one of our greatest ways of advertising. I mean, if we're letting in on a secret here, people, WOW TV is a big 3-hour commercial, but it's not for the watches. It's for Swiss Watch International. It's one of the great ways to get our name out there. There are times, I'm sure they love me saying this, there are times the show doesn't make any money because we've sold things at such a little price that it has taken the profit margin right off the table. Why do it? Because we are the #1 seller of Swiss watches in North America. Folks, that is amazing. And we do it by getting our name out there. And nothing speaks better of us than having our watches on your wrist. So, for a watch that has this level of style and accuracy, it has the reliable Japanese movement in there, just like we saw earlier. Make me remember which.
This is the VD53. You can
The
call it
VD53.
VD54 because it's got the
Because it has the date between the 4 and 5 o'clock position. It has that beautiful dial. It has the 316L stainless steel. It has Sapphitech crystal, the same thing we put in Swiss Legend. It has this great lume. Take a peek. And as I put this watch, this is a bold size.
This is 48 millimeters. The Monteviso was first designed a little under 2 years ago as the solution to gentlemen out there who wanted a classic dress watch for the office but didn't want something in a small case size. This is for somebody who still wants a bold timepiece, but you still want it to look classic. That's why you've got almost what looks like a 2-eye chronograph. Mm-hmm. See how they've highlighted the top two, but it gives it that vintage look, but it still fits even as an under 7-inch wrist.
I was going to say underdevelopedist. I'm glad you didn't say that. You know, I love the fact that the watch, I mean, it wears to me bigger than a 48 millimeter. It almost feels like a 50 millimeter watch because you see so much of that real estate that is the blue dial. Folks, we cannot emphasize this to you enough. It's right at the, between a $300 and $400 price point for this watch. The $239, I make no apologies there. That wow price is a good price for this watch. Midnight on Sunday, that's what the rest of the planet's going to pay. That's what it's going to be for, because we ship around the world.
Yes, we do.
But now, for the show, for those of you who are peeking in at the moment, $49.99. Can we do that? Absolutely. Free shipping, too. And if you don't want to put out the $50 all at once, how about $10 gets the watch home, and we're still paying for shipping? We don't even actually, I mean, the shipping costs more than that.
The shipping does, in some cases, cost more than the stress-free payments. You're absolutely correct about that.
I had to send a box to my son who's off in college.
Oh.
It was $8.95 to send this little tiny box with practically nothing in it.
Yeah,
those were very expensive M&Ms.
I had to send a gift to somebody, and I had to. You either had to pay like a certain amount of money to qualify for free shipping.
Yes.
Or you had to pay shipping, and shipping is really expensive. I mean, more so than we think about. So while it might seem like, oh, free shipping, I mean, that right there sometimes is the cost of a stress-free payment.
So yeah, if you'll just pay for the shipping, which was $10 on that watch, then we'll send you a watch, and then you have 4 more months.
That's right.
To pay it off.
Like this one. This is a $700 watch. Maybe if you were to see this at the mall, you'd think, well, $700 is a little bit too expensive. But if you were to love the watch so much and to know that you could get that $700 watch for $100, and even better, pay it off every month at $20 down, now that $700 watch doesn't have to be a, I wish I could get that. It's just a no-brainer.
You know, and some folks will keep balances on their credit cards, and they don't want to add to it like, oh, I would love to get that watch, but I want to put another $100 on my credit card. I just got it paid down. There is no interest on our stress-free payments. It does not go against you. You're going to love this. This is the racetrack GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, which means it has a secondary time zone on there. So whether you have somebody that is across town, across the country, or across the globe, you can set the time to anywhere else in the world. Now, some folks, if you have a dual time, will just keep it on the same time. Both of them are running succinctly together. You're going to love the carbon fiber dial, and you can take a look. Look how three-dimensional that is. Megan, have you noticed that some of the dials with the carbon fiber just look flat, almost like a photograph, and others have this very, very three-dimensional quality to it? You're also going to appreciate that there is just a feel to this watch that is very substantial. You don't always get that in some watches. Maybe you're not familiar with Glamrock. I hope you are. Now, you know, of course, you have a Swiss movement on the inside. It's a 48 millimeter case.
Wow.
This is a large watch, but not oversized. You're going to see that in just a moment. You're really going to appreciate just how comfortable the watch is to wear, and you're going to appreciate all the style that's with it. I also love, you know, you have these pops of white in that outer chapter ring on the hands, but you also have it in the contrasting stitching that is throughout. Let me slip this watch on. I want you to see it on. Do we have any sort of loom on this guy?
This will have loom in the hands. This will have loom in the hands, actually. But you know what else I like? I'm noticing that as you're showing it off. Do you see how like even your sapphire crystal has that anti-reflective coating over it?
Oh yeah, that's
Glamrock
almost like
really does not skimp on anything.
You know, because it's almost like a little bit of iridescence. You can see it on there. That really does look good. Folks, you know, again, 48 millimeter case, and this really does look good. But notice, there is still room to cinch this down if you have a much smaller wrist, or if you have a much larger wrist.
Oh yeah, you could have up to a 9-inch wrist with this watch strap.
Now, it's been a long time since we've had these in. Which means, folks, that once we run out of these, we have no guarantee when this stuff comes in. Our buyers scour the globe trying to find just the right watches, and when they find them, they buy them. Whether it is one of them, I mean, the watch that I just bought, there was only one.
Yep.
I mean, I was like a mad dash to get in because anybody could have bought it. And that's one of the things about his. If you see something, go ahead and just pull the trigger, buy it. Because if this is a watch that's of interest to you and you go, okay, I don't want to pay $700, that's the retail price. I don't want to pay the $280 wow price. So I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to pay $99. Is that right? This is really a Swiss movement and sapphire crystal for $99? And you have the large date complication at the top. You have a dual date wheel, large date complication at the 12 o'clock. That's amazing, because only 20 bucks gets it home. That's the only trigger you have to pull, not the full 100, 20 bucks. And we'll send the watch to you. Congratulations to all of you who are maybe considering glam rock. We want it to be a part of your collection.
Moving on to something very, very sporty. We're going to give this a quick mention. It's always a very popular seller for us. 285-611. This is the Deep Diver 1500 series from Luminox. This Swiss-made watch features the Swiss ETA 2826 automatic movement inside. That is a three-hand automatic movement comparable to the 2824 from ETA, except you have a bigger date window at the 3 o'clock position. This watch is water resistant down to 500 meters and has an automatic helium escape valve on it as well. The modified to no shape case does measure at 44 millimeters, but will wear closer to a 46 thanks to that oversized locking crown guard. You are getting this for more than 50% off that list price, and even better again are the stress-free payments. So that $2,000 Swiss-made watch is 900 bucks, but you only have to put down $180 to get it shipped to you for free. 285-611, tons and tons of tritium on that dial as well. You can see every single hour marker, all of the hands, and even the pip, that 12 o'clock position on that unidirectional bezel, all have tritium. 285-611.
One of my favorite watches is Bulova. Now, I can tell you that I grew up knowing the name Bulova. You know, they first started out when I was a child back in 1875. And
sorry.
Is it really that funny?
I'm just glad you're just finally admitting what I've been joking
I'm sorry,
about.
I can't hear you. My bell-tone hearing aid is not loud enough. Folks, I really love the fact that Bulova has such a history of watchmaking. I love the fact that they have done such a good job with this because, I mean, I'm reluctant to say it. There are times when watchmakers have lulls in their construction and their design, and you can tell they just kind of phoned it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I right?
No, it's totally true.
This is not a watch that they phoned in. This was, epic research. Okay, folks, in just the few minutes that we have, maybe you're new to the Bulova Precisionist collection, and in just moments, I won't beleaguer the point, but I really need you to see what you're getting, to understand it. Watches tell time by the movement of something, just like that grandfather clock you have at the house, the movement of the pendulum back and forth, that swinging gives a measurement of time. Preferably each movement of that pendulum is 1 second. Imagine that mechanical watch or that automatic watch that you may have at home that's running at somewhere between 3 and 6 kilohertz. Well, it has a spring on the inside, and whether you have to manually wind it, such with a mechanical, or it's an automatic movement, such as a rotor, it's going to wind a spring that's going to move the gears, and by that movement, it's going to have the ability to tell what 1 second is, and thus 60 seconds a minute, and then you're going to be able to tell time. When Seiko introduced the very first quartz movement, they found out that a piece of quartz happens to have the ability to move when electricity is applied to it. It's called a piezoelectric reaction. That means if you happen to flex a piece of quartz, it gives off a little bit of electricity. If you add electricity to the quartz, it moves. They took it into the shape of a tuning fork, and when they applied electricity to it, such as with a battery, they had the electronic watch, and that quartz movement was accurate to within, not like that automatic or mechanical, which is accurate to within 10 to 15 seconds per day. It's accurate to within 10 to 15 seconds per month. Congratulations, that's the way it's been, for all this time. Now Bulova has said, what will happen with that piezoelectric reaction if we take a 3-prong tuning fork, take the resonation up to 262 kilohertz, well, you get a watch 8 times more accurate than the watch on your wrist. The Bulova Precisionist is accurate to within 10 seconds per year. Let me demonstrate the watch very quickly. You notice you have a 3-hand configuration, hour-minute, continuously operating sweep hand. By hitting the pusher over here at the 8 o'clock position, you're going to send that sweep hand locking into the 12 o'clock position, ready to start the chronograph. This is also a chronograph accurate to within 1/1000th of a second. By hitting this pusher right here, you're going to see not just the sweep hand begin in motion to tell the seconds, but 2 additional dials right here at the 12 o'clock. One of those hands is going to give you 1/10 of a second, and the one moving at lightning speed is going to give you 1/100th of a second. The retrograde subdial at the 6 o'clock position down to 1/1000th of a second. You could time the Olympics. Are you ready? 1, 2. Look at how quickly 2 hands are moving there. One of them almost too quick to even be seen. Our start and then our stop. Watch our retrograde at the 6 o'clock. Notice how it moved just a touch. Now you're able to tell the seconds, the tenths of a seconds, the hundredths of a seconds down to 1/1000th of a second. If it had continued to run, it would tell you how many minutes it ran and then how many hours. To reset it, simply hit that pusher at the 4 o'clock. It's going to reset itself and lock into the 12 o'clock position. Please note that you also have a date complication on this watch. And to make sure that it keeps its record as the most accurate quartz movement, we're going to send that hand at the 12 o'clock position back exactly where it needs to go, because it's been keeping track internally of where this hand needed to stay down to the second. So that when you're seeing 10, 12, and 20 seconds, you know at the end of the year, this is only lost or gained no more or less than 10 seconds. Folks, that's why this watch sells for $899 in the jewelry store at your mall. But at the $673 price, you're saving an awful lot of money. But for the TV price, our WOW TV price, we're able to do it for $369.99. Now, if you have somebody out there that happens to be a great dive enthusiast, you're going to love the fact that it has a unirotating bezel. And, are you ready for this? 200 meters of water resistance. This watch is built like a tank. This watch is built like a tank. Look at that. Now, when you look at it on my 6 3/4 inch wrist, you're going to think, man, that's a big watch. No, it feels great. Absolutely great. Megan, I think I had shared with you that friends who I'm actually going to be visiting this evening, when she had been working at a company for, I think, 25 years, they gave her the option to choose any gift that she wanted, and one of the options was the Bulova Precisionist, this watch. She immediately took that and gave that to her son as a gift.
Oh, what a good mom.
Oh, yeah. And he was like, oh,
children.
That's nice. You know, he was like, isn't that nice? You gave me a watch. I said, that's a $900 watch. He appreciated that watch, as did she. She was like, wow, I didn't realize that was a $900 watch.
She's like, what was I thinking?
Is there a ladies' precisionist? Yes, there is. Folks, 212482 will get you the Bulova Precisionist, not at $900. $369, only $74 gets it home. You better believe it. You're going to absolutely love the Bulova Precisionist. We'll guarantee it. We'll even pay for shipping. Congratulations to all of you who are getting it home.
Moving on now to something high-end, something very, very special here. We are going to Ebel. 284280. This is the 43 millimeter men's X1 chronograph. This watch is a professional grade dive watch. 284280 is the item number. And yes, you will get this watch on 5 stress-free payments with the lowest possible price guaranteed. So we're going to take a look at the watch. We're going to come in nice and tight here so you can see I'm activating the chronograph. So you can see that. You can see in this shot here that the continuous running seconds for this timepiece are located at that 6 o'clock subdial. The large hand that is moving around the dial, as I'm showing you right now, is for your chronograph. So you can start and stop that right there. That little subdial right there at the 2, 3 o'clock position will give you 1/10 of a second accuracy on your chronograph. This is a Swiss ETA G10-211 quartz chronograph movement. Notice that beautiful black textured dial backdrop there, almost a CD or record texture, and you can really see it quite well through the anti-reflective coating on that sapphire crystal. You'll notice the words Swiss made, as well as the fact that it is 200 meters of water resistance. So again, it is a professional grade diver. Ebel is known as the architects of time, and there's something about the symmetry and the way that all of their designs so beautifully flow together. Got a little something on my desk here. That's why I'm showing you this beautiful bracelet. We see this bracelet a lot on Ebel's different watch collections, and you'll notice, much like water in motion, the links almost flow like ripples. You are saving nearly $2,000 on this one watch, and you can pay that off over 5 months. So that $3,000 price tag is just $200 down now. Decoration runs throughout, from the perlage decoration of the push-button closure to the Ebel logo inscribed on the screwed-down case back. Now, 43 millimeters, it is a watch that is designed for a larger wrist, but being that I tend to wear larger accessories anyways, I wanted you to see it on my wrist first. And you can see that it is a great size. It's a great fit and feel. Nice thick bracelet here, all 316L surgical grade stainless steel. So this is a watch where you really feel the quality. I like a sport luxury chronograph watch for a gentleman or a lady, but particularly for a gentleman, for something that you could wear both to the office and on the weekends. This is the kind of watch that gives you maximum versatility. You get the sportiness, of course, of that chronograph, but notice that you also get the look of something that you could wear with a suit. I'm going to pass this over to Wiley quickly so he can try it on, so you can see how a 43 millimeter does fare on a larger wrist. And again, this watch is meant to be sport luxury. That is why they give you 200 meters of water resistance. So this is the kind of watch that I like to call it a desk diver. You can wear it to the office, but you can also truly wear it as a dive watch on a boat.
Megan, I have to say, and you know this because you tried this on, this is one of the most comfortable watches. They have done such a great job with the bracelet on this watch. Sometimes they'll, take so much time with the watch head, with the case, with every little detail, but the bracelet almost becomes an afterthought.
Absolutely.
And a lot of those watches I call hair pullers because you put them on and you just go, okay, there's not the fit and finish into this as there was the rest of it.
So it's not like you're pulling out your hair like, why the heck did I buy this watch?
No, well, yes, well, that's that too. This watch is so incredibly comfortable. Now, hopefully, can we come in any closer? Is there a camera that'll give me the shot of the edge of the bezel? Because this and the gunmetal, remember, that has that kind of almost an iridescence to it. There it is. Maybe if I could just, right there. There is a look, see the little knurling and machining on that coin edge? That has a different look and texture. You'll see it also with what's going on, there it is right there, around the subdials. There is some bright work on here that you have to see it in person. How the light captures it and it just bounces back. The watch is not trying to be flashy, it's just reminding you that it's a $3,000 watch. And you're going to know by how it feels. I also love the stylized pushers on this. They're almost just almost recessed to the point where they're just peeking out, but easy to operate. Folks, the X1 chronograph is a bargain at our wow price of $2,000 because you're nearly $1,000 off the retail. But at under $1,000, $999, it is a steal. Only $200 gets this beautiful watch home. And by the way, to answer some folks' questions, if you're looking for a really, really big boy watch, really, really big girl watch, I'm going to suggest this one as an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous selection. Shifting gears again, we love the fact that we have some just fun watches. Ingersoll is one of those companies that, when they appeared out of nowhere to us, I mean, I had no idea we were getting them. I had heard the name, but had not had a chance to be exposed to the watches. When the Ingersoll brothers, back in 1881, 1882, opened up their catalog business, they were selling everything. They were kind of like the Sears catalog of their day. And one of the things they put into the works 10 years after the starting of the catalog company back in 1892, they started selling watches for only $1. This is a lot of years later. This is a bold watch at 44 millimeters. I mean, it really has a great look to it because there's a bit of thickness and heft to the watch. It's not a slimline watch. You
know what's interesting is when we were looking at these watches, when we were looking at all of our watches before the shows, this one caught my eye. I mean, of course,
too.
I love black and rose as a color combination, but I picked this one up and I couldn't believe that. I mean, I could believe it's an Ingersoll. Ingersoll watches are awesome and they're really popular sellers on the show. But there's something about this one that I really like. This might be one of my favorites of all the Ingersolls we've aired so far the past couple of months.
Well, I think it's the, not just the rose and the black and the beautiful strap that's on here, but little touches like the pop of red, whether it is on the hands or whether it is, there on the pusher, or when you flip it over, look at that. You're also going to love what holds the value in the watch is their limited edition. They're not just, pumping these watches out and there's just unlimited supplies. Both you and I have had things that we've tried to hunt down, and if they're in limited quantity, you can move heaven and earth. They're not going to make another one for you.
Yep.
And what you got's what you got. The 316L stainless steel, 50 meters of water resistant, that beautiful automatic. Now that's the 523 caliber automatic that's in this watch, which means you never have to buy a battery because the simple motion of your wrist is going to power the watch. Just as I was talking about earlier, there's something that has to power your watch. If it's a battery, that's great. You have a quartz movement more than likely. This has a rotor, and you'll notice that there is the beating heart of the watch. The motion of this rotor is going to cause a spring to wind, and don't worry, you can't overwind an automatic because there's a clutch in there to keep it from overwinding, and it's going to cause that balance wheel to do just what it's doing right there. Go back and forth to allow the gears and cogs to move in such a way that this watch is going to be a timekeeper. I think the watch looks great with that coin edge bezel. You can see that it's also going to be easy if you need to adjust that. It's unirotating. Also notice that you have this beautiful etching that's on the watch with the Ingersoll name, the high mirror polish. There's also a deployant clasp, which I love this. Once you feed that strap through here and you lock this into place, this is what, putting a watch off and on really does wear out the strap. Now notice this deployant, once you feed this through here, it does all the work. So a simple clicking of this allows you to set the size of the watch, and it's always going to be ready for you. You don't have to strap this off and on. All you have to do with this pry-apart dual deployant is feed that through. It's always the right size for you, and it's going to cause this leather strap to last a whole lot longer. Folks, don't spend $470 on this watch unless you really, really, really want to. We would much rather you have this watch at the $231 price, which is our wow price, and it'll be that way back at midnight on Sunday. And we could just leave it right there, but you know the secret. You're watching WOW TV, the best 3 hours in watch television. $129 for this $479 watch. And this is brand new. These are not, seconds. Oh, by the way, that's a great time. Megan, throw your plug in for, we actually have some things out there that may be like floor models. You won't see them on the show necessarily.
Ah, yes.
But we're going to, while we're talking about this brand new in the box with all the papers and warranty, Megan, tell them if they check the website what they may find.
You'll notice a section on WorldofWatches.com that is called pre-owned. Now, every single item Wiley and I will show you on the program is going to be brand new, never been worn before. But we do have a section on our website called pre-owned, and that's where you can get a chance to purchase items that maybe we only have one or two of. Maybe they were store models somewhere, like the Cartier Roadster or a Rolex. We've got
Bulgari. There is a solid gold Bulgari that you will pay, unbelievable. It's like $30,000, unbelievably expensive. But with us, it is a fraction of the price because I think it was either a display model or something where we're able to get it with our buyers. Fraction of the price for a solid gold watch.
So definitely check out the pre-owned section on our website. You'll see it with all the main tabs on the homepage at WorldofWatches.com. That's just a really nice place to go. You'll get crazy discounts like you will always find on the shows and on the website. But that's for a few targeted pieces that maybe are in a category all their own. And with the pre-owned watches, which again, nothing on this show that you'll ever see is pre-owned, but with the store models, the pre-owned, it will always say very specifically on the website page whether or not that it's part of that. So don't feel like you're going to get this and, oh my God, is it a pre-owned?
Oh, no. And you would think at this price at $129, this has to be pre-owned or does it come with a box or maybe, it's missing. No. Brand new in the box. We were delighted to be able to offer it to you, and only $26 gets it home. So if you're looking for a great watch, do not hesitate on this one because that multifunction chronograph is absolutely stunning in that watch. 281803 for the Ingersoll limited edition Snake.
Ooh, the snake.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to our second hour together of the three, and this is a very special hour. Every single item is a Maurice Lacroix. This is very, very special. Yeah, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you got going on right there? This is his own watch.
You know, this is where you guys really have an advantage. Because I was looking for a Maurice Lacroix watch, and it was a limited edition piece. There's only 88 of them on the planet. And one day we had 40 of the white and 40 of the black, and I thought, I've got all the time in the world. I went to get them, gone. I've had, you know, I didn't have, like I had him do it. The vice president here is trying to find it, like, I'll get you that watch. Couldn't do it, because when you choose it, well, they choose you over us. So you get those great pieces. When this one came in, this Maurice Lacroix, there was only one of them. And I made a beeline to the vault to say, hold that one for me, because I know that when we get these things in, they go like that. And when you see what we have coming up right now, you are going to be amazed at these prices. Megan's hot pick, is it not a Maurice Lacroix?
Yeah, it's a Maurice Lacroix masterpiece.
But you're not just getting a watch right now. We want to say thank you, and please do not be upset with us if you've already bought one of these watches and you one of the watch boxes we're getting ready to show you, and you paid full price for it because you got a great bargain. But for the next hour,
every single Maurice Lacroix watch will include the 10-slot black watch box. In fact, can we get that over here, please? This watch box is per item.
Oh, the lovely Rudy, thank you.
Oh, look at that. Both our hot picks in there. So this is per item, which means if you buy more than one Maurice Lacroix watch, you will get more than one watch box. So it is per item. It's not per total sale. So that's kind of cool, too.
Yeah, because these sell for like $80, $90. I mean, we had them on sale before, but you're actually getting, you know, a gift from us to you for saying thank you for doing the Maurice Lacroix business with us. And that's the next hour. Boy, are you going to be amazed at what you see. What's coming up? Can you show us?
We're going to jump into a preview and show you what's coming up in our Maurice Lacroix hour. Ooh, so many new
that
things.
Is nice.
Coming up first from the Masterpiece Collection, here is a full mechanical watch. 281-809, as I mentioned with my own hot pick and with the watch that Wiley personally owns. Masterpiece watches are the top tier of Maurice Lacroix's brand. These are all hand-built watches. 121-809. Yes, this is what I was talking about. This is a $19,000 watch for $5,000.
That is amazing. I'm looking at the watch right now, and I'm ogling this watch because when you see the other side of this watch, you're going to put the watch on upside down every day. You're not going to care what the time is. You're going to want to see what I'm looking at right now because this is straight out of a magazine. I mean, this is easily that $19,000, $20,000 watch. No doubt about it.
All right, moving on from there, item number 121-809, another Maurice Lacroix. This one also this one's an automatic. The other one was a mechanical. This is from their Les Classiques collection. Once inside, you've got a beautiful automatic movement with the same sort of style as my hot pick, which had the ML6066 movement inside. You get the perpetual calendar. You get the calendar day, date, and month with a true moon phase feature. This is a $5,000 Maurice Lacroix for $1,800. But again, the payments. $360, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sitting so verklempt here. 215-102, the Les Classiques from Maurice Lacroix.
Coming up right behind that, this is one of the watches that I suggested to that gentleman who was looking for that up-and-coming watch, but I knew the price point was going to be a little higher, but boy, is it worth it. The Maurice Lacroix Miros chronograph. This is nearly a $1,700 watch. This comes in other configurations, such as the white or silver dial. This one with the black, with that pop of silver in the subdials, is my favorite. This is a watch, I'm telling you, Megan, this would be the watch I would wear every day if I had to just pick a single Maurice Lacroix and just make it my everyday watch, because there is a look to it. And when I showed him this, the thing that he said that stood out was that, was the pops of black that are running through. Isn't this gorgeous?
It's funny that you say that, because I was suggesting this I was asking my boyfriend what he thought about this collection, and he likes the all silver tone with the black and silver dial.
Really?
For the same thing, because I want him to he needs something a little bit sportier, but he still wants something to wear to the office. So this was one that I actually suggested.
Rudy, do we have both configurations of this, or just one out with us?
We'll probably have one of them tomorrow, if not today.
That's okay. But we'll let people know they can shop In the future, because you, if you don't know, hey, if you're just joining us, all those Verizon people out there, or whether it's the DirecTV people, if you want to go to our website, you'll find that all the items that are coming up for the next day's show are still there. They've popped up, and they're still for sale right now. So if you check, let's say if you're on Saturday and you want to see what's going on for the Sunday show, you can. And if it has to be Sunday, you want to see what was on the Saturday show, you can. So regardless of what day of the week you catch us, we have both days' shows on the website. This one you're going to love, and it's really a good-looking watch. Right behind that is going to be, I think, a watch you kind of like.
This is my hot pick of the show. Now, this one I did present last hour, but you know what? We're going to do it again right now.
Go for it.
286503, the 35mm Masterpiece Automatic. This features the ML6066 automatic movement inside. That is a modified Swiss-made ETA automatic movement. You've got 83 points of diamonds, ladies. You have 50 individual diamonds setting 4-prong jeweler set in that beautiful bezel. You've got 4 bezel set diamond hour markers at the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions. A perpetual calendar with the day, the date, and the month. You've also got a true moon phase feature down at the 6 o'clock position. This is a hand-built Swiss-made watch. Now, it's not for everybody. I understand that. It is quite expensive. But think about having something that's so much more than a timepiece. This is an heirloom quality watch. What I mean by that is this is the kind of watch that will last even beyond your years. This is the kind of timepiece that you will have and you will wear for the rest of your life. And then beyond you, you will pass this down to someone in your life to enjoy, and so forth beyond that. These are not diamond accents. Think about this. Each individual one is worth more than 1 point of diamonds, because you've got a total of 54 diamonds on this watch, but the carat weight is 83 points. Now, you do have your screwed down crown to manipulate your date, your time, I should say, and to power up the movement. But you'll notice these little recessed pushers on either side of the case. That's how you'll operate your month, your day, and your calendar date, as well as your lunar phase feature at the 6 o'clock position. This is not croco embossed. This is genuine alligator here. You can have way under a 6-inch wrist, as evidenced here, or up to an 8-inch wrist for this timepiece. So there's something for every woman, provided your wrist size is 8 inches and under. Remember, every single item sold this hour will include the 10-slot black watch box. Listen, I am not at a point where I can just drop $8,800 on a watch right now, and $2,700 might be a bit tricky. But $540 to own an $8,800 timepiece, hand-built in Geneva, Switzerland. This is an hour where you will be saving in the thousands and thousands of dollars. 286503, $540 right now for an $8,800 Maurice Lacroix.
If it wasn't for the price point, I would have chosen a Maurice Lacroix for my hot pick. This will be the only non-Maurice Lacroix in this hour, because if we run through every watch, we'll just start over, because we want you to be able to see as many Maurice Lacroix as possible. But for a moment, I need you to go back in time. Go back to 1856 and see the foundations of the Eterna Watch Company. They're the ones that gave us the ETA movement, and of course this has the ETA 955 movement inside of it. It's an all Swiss-made watch that is a sapphire crystal, and it's hard to believe that there is a thickness of a sapphire crystal. There is a space in between that crystal and that 3-hand configuration and the dial and the movement and the back of the watch, and it is only 8.5 millimeters thick. Is that just not kind of crazy to you?
Yeah, it is.
Think about
actually.
that. The space in between that crystal and the dial, and then once you get under the dial, you have to shove a movement in there and then put a back on it. That's amazing. But that's also Swiss craftsmanship and little tiny Swiss hands putting it together.
Little Swiss hands.
Little Swiss hands. And we love, and there's some little Swiss hands right there. And you're going to love the fact in this 40 millimeter case, that beautiful Croco embossed leather strap. You have got this beautiful dial, 3-hand configuration, hour, minute, continuously operating sweep hand, Roman numerals going all the way around the chapter ring that's going to give you the hour indices and a date complication there at the 3 o'clock. I love the fact that this is a $1,300 watch. It also has the option of a metal bracelet, but on this leather strap configuration, you can get it for under $190. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that the other version is not that much more expensive.
No, not at all.
Which is, because that's also one of the things that caught our attention was how are you doing a stainless steel bracelet in place of that genuine leather strap, and there would be a nominal cost difference. Folks, only $38 gets it home. That's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments. I cannot emphasize this enough. This is one of the steals of the show, but we've got to show you what's coming up with the Maurice Lacroix collection. So go ahead and consider this one because I think you're going to love it. Now, every other watch that you see, other than this Eterna, that's a Maurice Lacroix over the next hour, gets a watch box with it.
215099. We're going to do a quick mention here first on the Le Classique chronograph. This timepiece here is not a chronograph. We're going to make sure that this is the correct item. So why don't we just move on to the next item and we'll come back to this one.
You know, technically chrono meaning time and graph meaning display. It is a time display, even though the graphics people will probably be hit with a ball-ping hammer later. But this is a watch that you will just cherish for years to come. Megan, have you seen this one before?
I have never, ever seen this exact Maurice Lacroix masterpiece.
Before we put this live on the air, I just want you to, just for a moment, look into that and just go, oh my gosh.
Do you know Maurice Lacroix calls that black gold?
As well they should. And at the price of $19,000, you are going to know why this is as valuable as gold. Folks, as we come into this live shot, this was one of the ones when I was hunting down a watch, trying to find just one specific piece. They said, you've got to consider this one. And it was so tempting. But I had not seen it in person. It was just photographs. Folks, I want to encourage you to take a look at this and to see if maybe this is the right watch for your collection. This is such an elegant design all the way around. Now this truly, look at how much different these hands are than you. There's discs with a hand attached to it. And there's our start, our stop, and there is our snap-back reset. Now notice this is going to function as a small second subdial, which is actually a pretty large small seconds at the 9 o'clock position. But isn't that interesting how they've done those hands to stylize them? Now, friends and family, as you're staring into the time of this watch, I'm going to flip it over because you're not going to look at this anymore. You're going to be absolutely stunned at what you see.
That's amazing. That's what I was referring to. Maurice Lacroix calls this rhodium-plated movement black gold.
Isn't that just gorgeous? Notice all of those delicate little wheels and gears just going to town.
Look at them right there. And you can see it down there too. Powering up the mainspring to charge up.
Now, Megan, what's the difference between, let's say, if now this is a mechanical watch, which means I'm hand winding it. If I have an automatic watch, just the mere motion of my wrist, and I can't overwind that. What about this one?
Well, this you can get to a point where you will overwind it. So don't worry about that. What you're going to do is, as Wiley's winding it, as he's fully powering up the mechanical movement inside, it will get to a point where you'll feel the crown engage. And it will almost give you a little bit of tension or pressure, and you will know not to wind it anymore. If you were to force the winding of a mechanical movement, you could actually chip one of these little teeth in there, and you'd honestly ruin the movement.
I mean, if you can just see right where my fingers are as I start to do that, notice
See,
it snaps back. I could force it.
Yeah, don't.
But it's giving me resistance, almost like the spring inside is saying, don't do that.
That's not very nice.
No, that's not very nice. Can you see in there how three-dimensional that is? By the way, our camera folks, you're doing such a great job because this is such an intricate... I'm going to hand this off to you in just a moment because maybe they can get even closer with you being closer to camera 3 because this is truly... I mean, I could just sit there all day and stare into this.
You know what's amazing is
Oh
when
my
you
goodness,
think
look at
about
that.
a watch like this, whether you're talking about a mechanical or an automatic, you have to realize that this is a watch, whether you're getting this $19,000 Maurice Lacroix or that $400 automatic Ingersoll. Mechanical and automatic watches have a soul to them. They're not just a quartz battery like everything else in this world that's battery operated. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course. You get great accuracy. But to get a watch such as this means hands were actually working on putting all of this together. There is a symphony of time that happens here just by powering up that mainspring. Notice how all of these little gears engage and how they slowly work to keep accurate time. So yes, while you always get great accuracy with a quartz watch, and you certainly have nice convenience in the fact that you really never have to wind it, because mechanicals and automatics do require a bit more care and time, there's something about having a watch that has a soul to it. And that's very special. And I think that every watch collector out there needs at least one mechanical or automatic, preferably one of each, to have, just to appreciate what really goes into watchmaking. Because back in the day, this was the original way that watches were made and wound and used. They didn't just start off with quartz watches. This is how they started off. It wasn't until the quartz revolution with Seiko that everything changed. But until then, this is what we saw, and this is what they had.
I think this is absolutely stunning, and I can't emphasize this enough. This is the power of, one, who we are as Swiss Watch International, two, the great buyers that we have that are able to find the deals across the planet, but also our relationship with Maurice Lacroix. Let me just stress this to you. $19,000 watch. $19,000 watch. Now here's a 45 millimeter case with that beautiful movement on the inside, that mechanical movement. All Swiss made, sapphire crystal, genuine alligator strap. By the way, I'm going to take it off just for a second so they can see that this also comes with one of those deployants, which simply means that when you feed that alligator through there and lock that into place, that it's going to now take the stress off of this so that you're not wearing it out. And then the deployant, when it closes, it snaps into place and you happen to have the secure size for your watch over and over. And it's easy to open up and put the watch off and on and then to snap back into place. This is gorgeous. This is just one of those heirloom quality pieces that if you have not considered this, this is brand new to us too. I mean, we've not had this piece here before to my knowledge. Sapphire crystal front and back. And look at that. Look how three-dimensional that is. I mean, this is a watch. Be prepared, gentlemen, that if you own this watch, you're going to be taking the watch off several times a day because people are going to want to see inside, including yourself. You're going to want to see inside too. $18,950 is the list price. That comes from Maurice Lacroix. We don't make that up. The WOW price is $10,349, saving you $8,000. $8,500. That's a good savings. I mean, don't you feel good about that?
Are you kidding? You could get, how many, you could get 3 watches with us and still have a couple $1,000s left over in stores.
But then you look at our TV price, $49.99, because the $10,000, that $8,000 savings isn't what they're actually getting. They're getting a $14,000 savings.
It's crazy.
I mean, there are folks right now, okay, the watch that I'm wearing, the Maurice Lacroix, is a $17,000 watch. I did research online. There is a website right now selling the watch that I'm wearing for $11,000. And I think we still have the white version of this for $3,800, $3,900.
Oh my God.
I mean, who can resist that if you're going to make purchase? Because if you're getting ready to write the check for this at $18,000, these are new in the box. This is not something like, oh, here, we'll send it to you. Meet me in the Kmart parking lot. No. Folks, We are delighted and honored to have our relationship with Maurice Lacroix and the trust that hopefully you put into us. In fact, we're going to give you a money-back guarantee. We're going to pay for shipping for this watch to come. We're going to float that $5,000 price tag so that all that you have to do is put $1,000 on a credit card. It cannot be a debit card. We apologize for that. It has to be a credit card. And then the very next business day, we'll ship the watch out to you. Now, that means at no interest. That additional $4,000 you pay once a month, and the watch is yours the moment you receive it. Absolutely. From us. It's in your hand, able to wear, but it's paid off in 4 months. That is incredible for a $19,000 watch.
For the price of your first car.
My first car was $49.98. My first car was the
WOW TV price.
Yes. No, it's the Super TV price. Folks, congratulations if you're picking this up. You have a true collectible that will be an heirloom for many, many, many years to come. Love this watch. In fact, I'm just going to hold it for a while. You go ahead, Megan. You can talk about the next one.
Well, moving on to another Maurice Lacroix. Another high-end Maurice Lacroix here. Remember, every single Maurice Lacroix is Swiss-made. Le Classique is another one of their high-end collections. Not as maybe upscale or as rare as the Masterpiece, but the Le Classique itself is a very, very popular collection as well. And this one has some gold on there that is not gold tone.
This is beautiful. I mean, again, this answers the question of what is that up-and-coming watch, and all depending on budget. Mm-hmm. Because, we have watches that are $1,300 watches that we're selling for, $180.
That's true.
And we have a $19,000 watch, it's $5,000. Here's a $5,000 watch. Why is it that expensive? Well, number one, it's an all Swiss-made watch. It is a Maurice Lacroix watch. The Le Classique happens to be a great collection within the Maurice Lacroix family, just like the Pontos and the Miros and the Masterpiece. But what they've done to give you some extreme luxury is to take the bezel of the watch and not gild it, plate it, coat it, but make it out of solid 18-karat gold. That's not gold toned. That is an 18-karat gold bezel on that watch. When you look into it and realize, each complication on a watch gives it value. Well, not only do you have the 3-hand configuration, but they've also used an additional hand to give you the date, which you're also seeing right there as it's pointing to the 9th. You also have a day and month complication and a moon phase complication in this automatic watch. Can I just express to you that every gear, everything that is moving in this watch is all happening mechanically through that automatic movement. There's not a battery or a computer in there. It's the turn of every gear that it knows precisely, down to the second, when to change the day, the date, and the month, all through that, literally, the hands of the watch, or through those wheels that are within it.
And what's cool is they'll all change instantaneously. They'll all change at the exact same time on midnight.
And that, to me, is just the cabinetier's craftsmanship. That if you were to just dump all these pieces out, I'm sorry, there's hundreds of pieces in this watch. If you were to open it up and to lay all the pieces out, I couldn't, for the life of me, put it back together.
Oh my God, no.
But isn't it amazing that we have friends here who could?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we take our own watches here. I mean, I've had watches that aren't even, Swiss Watch International watches that I've brought here because I trust them to take them apart and do open heart surgery on the watches. Here's a gorgeous watch, a $5,000 watch. It's under $1,800. Let me stress this to you. $360 gets a Maurice Lacroix multi-function, because you have so many functions within this watch, multiple complication watch with a solid 18-karat gold bezel for only $360 to get it home. And we're going to pay for shipping, and we're going to guarantee it that you will not find it for less. Now, this also has that deploy it clasp on here, which means that the strap on the watch is not going to wear out as quickly as if you didn't have that. Let me show you this watch on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. You can tell me if you think it's a good fit. Now, you have a very tasteful gentleman in your world.
Yes, I do.
Both with boyfriend and dad.
I was going to say, I was going to make a joke.
Did you like
my
it?
dad.
No, I got your bases covered. Which one of them would choose this watch, or would both?
Well, it's funny. My dad actually does have a Maurice Lacroix watch, and
good taste.
I was telling you, I was showing my boyfriend that more sport luxury chronograph style, and I was thinking I wanted to make a point about this. This is a solid gold bezel. I know, and my boyfriend, I can throw him into this category. Some people are concerned about wearing gold tone on a timepiece. You don't have to be concerned about that one, but in the case of somebody that might feel like, well, I don't want to wear fake gold. This is a solid gold bezel. So in some ways, you're purchasing a commodity in the sense that you are purchasing actual solid gold on this watch.
I love the fact that the hands of the watch and the hour indices are in a gold plating that reflects that solid gold bezel incredibly well. Let me just stress this to you. You're exactly right. If we happen to have a watch that is gold toned because it's 18 karat gold plated, the question is not whether or not it's real gold, it's how thick do you want the gold. Because if it's gold plated or if it is applied in some sort of process, there is a level of thickness. This happens to be so thick that it is solid 18 karat gold.
You know what's funny is I know I've talked about this on the shows before, but of course my dad is he's a big watch collector, and I grew up learning about watches, but mostly just being dragged when we were on vacations into different jewelry stores so my dad could buy a watch. And we were in Mexico, I'll never forget, because my dad, when he would take us out of the country, always liked to buy a watch or something, because, you know, you can get a discount with duty-free and all of that. And he purchased a Maurice Lacroix watch when we were in Mexico at a diamond jewelry store. And I'll never forget all the years later when I first started working here, and I was showing him, Dad, Maurice Lacroix watches, or Rolex and Cartier and all the watches that we have on the website and on the show. I was like, you're not going to save like 30-40% like you would have before. With Maurice Lacroix watches, we save you 60, 70, 80% off. And he about fell out of his chair just reflecting on all the years and what he was spending before he found out about World of Watches.
Well, and if you buy this watch, just like with any of our Maurice Lacroix watches, you are getting the leather-bound padded 10-slot watch box to add to your collection or to put your collection in. And we recommend always, get more than one. If you're going to get one for free, go ahead and either buy another watch and get 2 watch boxes, or you can add a second box to your order. And I think you're going to be very, very appreciative of the fact that with Maurice Lacroix, the quality is likened to none other. This is not a discount watch. Even though you may be getting a discount from us, this is not a discount watch. How do I emphasize that enough? You know what? That Maurice Lacroix goes in the watch box very, very well.
215-102, $1,800 for a $5,000 40 millimeter from the Le Classique collection. 5 payments of $360 to sweeten the deal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quickie break here from our Maurice Lacroix hour, and we're going to go to a top 10. This is where we count down the 10 best-selling items of the show so far. Now, because we still have an hour and a half of the program to go, this will definitely change before we hit recap. And because we have a show tomorrow, the lineup is available right now at WorldofWatches.tv. So we might even see some items in this top 10 that are actually slated for tomorrow's show, because you guys shop in the future. All right, starting with number 10 here, drum roll.
What is it?
My hot pick.
My goodness, some folks with extremely good taste.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. 286-503. Congratulations to all the ladies out there that picked up the Maurice Lacroix Masterpiece. This is a 35 millimeter. You have the ML6066 automatic movement inside, much like that Le Classique movement. You have a true moon phase, a calendar day, date, and month. You've got 4 bezel set diamond hour markers on the true mother of pearl dial that is hand textured, by the way. The entire watch is built by hand. And then you have 50 additional diamonds set in a ring in the bezel. Your total carat weight on this watch is 83 points of diamonds. Think about how big those diamonds are, that you have 54 diamonds, and each one is more than a point in their total carat weight. Exhibition case back shows you your fully decorated automatic movement, of course, sapphire crystals front and back. $2,700 is the price, down from $8,800. But I'm going to say go for the payments. If you can afford $540 a month, I know that's still a lot of money, but think about it this way. If you can afford $540 a month, You have a hand-built diamond masterpiece that retails for nearly $9,000. 286-503 coming in number 10. My hot pick. Congratulations, ladies.
Shifting gears literally with Momo Design. Here's a company that's known for its automobile improvements and accessories, and they have a lot of Italian splash. Italian design, and here, Italian made. It's the Dive Master. It's a watch with a lot of style and a lot of quality. In fact, $1,456 worth of quality at the wow price of only $399. But you've picked it up for $249.99. You great shopper, you. You don't need a Groupon when you're here because look at the price. Only $50 gets it home. That's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments, and you have got all that Italian design. It's going to look great next to your Ferrari or just to your Italian dinner. 283010 Momo Design. And then look at that. Oh, I knew that this would. This makes me very, very happy.
This needs to just sell out because the deal is so good on this. This will sell out in the holiday time. I'll tell you right now.
I hope so. I
will
really do, because this
out.
is one of those chances for folks to have luxury, a $1,300 watch for under $200, under $190. 40mm case, classic size. Either a gentleman or a lady could wear it. It has the ETA, and Eterna invented the ETA movement. 955 movement, sapphire crystal, 30 meters of water resistance, only 8.5 millimeters thick, ultra slim, Croco embossed leather strap, and gorgeous all the way around. Please do not let this get away, because just as Megan and I have told you over and over, limited quantities on most of our items because we can't get them in large quantities. 3-hand configuration, hour-minute continuously operating sweep band, and a date complication at the 3 o'clock position. Congratulations to all of you who picked it up and put it in the top 10.
Coming in at number 7, the Camelot collection from Lucien Picard, 244596. Here's a perfect example of still getting Swiss luxury looks for $100 here. You do have a Japanese chronograph quartz movement inside. It is the VD54 with date. Here, your color combination is all 18-karat rose tone, and then you've got rose, black, and white inside your dial. 244596. We also give you a 5-year warranty on that movement, so $100 and the 5 payments plus the 5-year warranty. That's number 7. Number 6 is the 48mm Monteviso from Lucien Picard. This features the Glacier Blue dial, hands down the best-selling dial color in any watches of our company-owned brands. You get that beautiful Glacier Blue dial set against a brush-finished silver tone case and bezel, and then a Croco embossed black leather strap. Yes, it's true, you can get a watch that you can wear with your suit for just $10 down, interest-free every month. 178679. That's number 6, the Monteviso.
That may end up being the better value, even beyond
some of
the
these
Eterna. Yeah, well, just because that's a ridiculously low price on that. Speaking of which, here is the Ingersoll limited edition Snake. And you're going to love the fact that this multifunction from Ingersoll, normally right at $1,000 price point, is only $231.99. At least that's what it's going to be midnight on Sunday. But for right now, those of you who are picking it up are just blowing it right out of the water. $129.99. Only $26 gets it home. You better believe it. And we're going to pay for shipping, and we're going to guarantee the price. 281803 for the Ingersoll limited edition Snake. What a great multifunction watch and a lot of style.
Coming up right after that, the Modern Mariner collection from Luminox. It's a 44mm case, professional grade diver, and it features a genuine leather strap that is specially treated so you can wear this while swimming and diving. It's all blacked out. Dial, bezel, case, strap, everything is black, but you do get that pop of white from the glass tubes which contain the tritium. That is your superluminova, or it's like your superluminova, except it's an inert gas. So unlike a painted on compound, tritium is always, and I mean always, glowing. 200 meters of water resistance, a sapphire crystal on there. Swiss-made watch, we've got it for less than dealer's cost. And it's easy, $60. $2 a day, ladies and gentlemen, 242-385.
And right behind that is going to be the Luminox SXC Space GMT. Now, you are looking at an ultra lightweight watch because, again, Luminox loves working with land, air, sea, and space. The ultra lightweight material here is because when you are going into space, every gram counts. And that carbon reinforced case that's on there is one of the lightest that's out there. Not only is it a 3-hand configuration, but there is a 4th hand because it's a GMT. There's also a date complication right there at the 3 o'clock position, and you can see in this particular shot, it's just getting ready to roll over on the date. This watch normally sells for $495. You're going to be able to get it at the wow price of $346.99, but for the show price, which is why it's in there, $229.99. Amazing for a Luminox. Of course, it's all Swiss made, and for only $46, you're going to be amazed that you got it home. That's your first of 5 stress-free payments.
Coming in right after that is a watch that I actually made my hot pick before. From Maurice
nice.
Lacroix. I believe this is slated for tomorrow's show. 286502. You have the Miros Diamond. Here you got a 38mm case with a Swiss-made ETA quartz chronograph movement inside. It is a Swiss-made watch. You've got 8 individual diamond set hour markers. How stunning. Set atop that brushed silver tone dial. I love the sport luxury look here. It's a bit of a departure for what we normally see on ladies' watches, so it's kind of cool. Also, you're getting a Swiss-made diamond watch for under $500. That right there is a huge value. Ladies, $96 a month. If this could be your entry point into Swiss-made luxury, and you're doing it with a Maurice Lacroix. Remember, every single Maurice Lacroix watch includes the 10-slot black watch box. The better to show off your timepieces. 286502.
That's beautiful. Because, you know, we were showing, like your hot pick, it had a whole lot more diamonds, but it also had a much higher price.
Now here, the #1 seller so far, a watch we have not yet aired, so we will do it right now. Item number 221947 is a Maurice Lacroix Pontos, arguably one of the most popular collections on our site.
That's really, really nice. You know, when I look at this and I see, you know, the Pontos has several different varieties of watches. Some of them happen to have, you know, reserve indicators on them. Some of them may have a moon phase. This is such a classic 3-hand configuration. And I love the fact that the shape of the case is not, it doesn't look like everybody else's. There is a layeredness to it. And also, as we come into that live shot in just a moment, you're going to be able to see that the shape of the case is going to make that even though the watch is a little large, that it's going to fit the wrist so incredibly well. You notice that 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, continuously operating sweep hand, reverse date wheel at the 6 o'clock position. Now, even though the watch may have a little bit of size to it, look at how they have shaped it so that it's going to fit on the wrist so incredibly well. This is also a great opportunity to let you take a peek into the back of that watch to see that great automatic movement that's back there. This watch will never require a battery, just the motion of your wrist is going to cause it to power up that mainspring, and you can in fact see the beating heart of the watch right there. And as we come in even closer, you're going to really love all the decoration that is within this watch. There's the Côte de Genève. Now this is the ML 115 automatic movement within there. And you can see the pearlage, which is that pearl-like swirl that's just under the rotor and on the back part of the structure. The watch really does look great. Now, that's a 26 jewel automatic, and you can see the shape of the watch right there really does. It kind of shows off how well that's going to fit on the wrist. Notice how the lugs allow this to drop down, and there is free movement of that strap within there so that no matter what size wrist you have, it's going to fit there really, really well. Now, if perchance this watch should sell out, please know that because this is our Maurice Lacroix hour, that there are other varieties and colors of this watch and styles on our website. So perchance someone should beat you to the punch, don't miss out on getting one of the other varieties. Because I can tell you right now, as a person who's lived through it, when you really have your heart set on a watch, it'll sucker punch you if it sells out from under you. So do look at our website. And of course, if you need help ordering, always call our number at 877-969-8818. With our award-winning customer service and folks there, they will be glad to help you. Now, again, there are some beautiful Maurice Lacroix within our hour, so let me make sure you can see as many as we can squeeze in, because we've got a lot. $699.99, $3,400 is the list price. It'll be back up to $1,199 if it's there. But for those of you who can get it, $699. Congratulations. Let me show you another great Maurice Lacroix watch. It's coming right up.
And on tomorrow's show, we will also have an entire hour devoted to Maurice Lacroix. But again, as we saw, even with that watch, everything is available right now at WorldofWatches.tv, including 286500, the Maurice Lacroix Miros. I like the Miros collection. As we saw in the top 10, we had a couple in there. I've made the Miros with diamonds my hot pick before. I like this because maybe in stores, it's still quite expensive. Of course, it can go up into the thousands of dollars. But we almost make the prices really affordable here. I mean, $90 down. You're under $100 for a watch. Most of the time, you're spending under $100 on a watch every month. You're kind of getting garbage. But here, you're getting $1,600.
Kind of makes it affordable.
Yeah, right?
So we're coming back going, do you mind if I take $1,000 off the price of your watch? Okay, this is just me. The simple configuration of this watch, I like better than the chronograph.
Yeah?
I do. Because this is such a gentleman's classic look on this watch. It goes with everything. And once you add a chronograph, you're adding a bit of a sporty flair. Well, this does it by just a couple of style elements. Now, this configuration is very similar to the configuration that Rolex uses in one of their Explorers. Not the one with the chronograph, but just the other version that has this kind of nomenclature at the 12, 9, and 6 o'clock position. Now, I believe this is a 40mm case.
I think it looks larger than that, though.
It does, and I think it's because you have this bezel that's here, but you have just a bit of the bright work coming around that kind of looks like it's growing. It looks like there's more to the watch than there is. And I think when you see it on the wrist, you're going to go, oh, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Look how slimline that watch is. Megan, would you just measure that to see how thick that watch is? Because I'm going to wager this feels like it's like a 6 maybe.
Yeah, you're at 8 actually, just slightly over that.
I mean, that's so tiny in the slimness of this watch. Now, I'm going to slip the watch on, and you're going to see that I think, oh wow, that is just disappears on the wrist.
Do you like this with the black IP running down the,
I do.
The center portion
I
there?
really do, because there's just something about it that is very unique, but there's a classic look to it. I mean, that's what I think adds the sportiness, is that pop of black running through without having to have the chronograph, which I think would have made this a little too sporty.
I just think it's amazing that Maurice Lacroix, as we just saw, you know, a $19,000 hand-built mechanical, and then we have something that's on the more affordable end at $1,600, and you're still getting Swiss-made luxury. You're still getting a Swiss-made automatic. Excuse me, this is a Swiss-made quartz movement, but these are Swiss-made watches. And that's really cool at $90 down.
And just like the bell that we had earlier, there is the right finish on this bracelet. I mean, it is comfortable. It is well finished. They have put as much time in designing the bracelet as they did the watch. Speaking of watches, you have another variety, don't you?
Yes,
you're
went
making
a
me
little
angry.
bit fancier.
No. I have to say this looks great. And at the same price, this has gold plating on it.
I love this. I mean, we talked about this when we saw that Bulova watch in the first hour. I love two-tone watches. I own two-tone watches. I think you get the most versatility. Now, I'm trying this one on. What's funny is you'll notice it's the exact same watch. Same exact watch. But notice what a different personality it has because we've changed up the plating. So this 40mm is all done with a brushed finishing of gold tone. And then you've got that mirror polish bezel, but of course in this case it's that gold tone once again. It's a flat case at 40mm, but notice on a 6-inch wrist how well it fits. And even though we measured it at only 8mm in slimness, I agree with you. I think it seems even slimmer than that.
It lays so flat on the wrist. It's one of those watches that even though there's a sapphire crystal there, don't worry about bumping the crystal. You're going to hurt your wrist before you bump that crystal because it's so flat to the wrist. And just like with me having a dress shirt on right now, if that sleeve was down, and even if it was a French cuff, that's going to slip under there with ease. So this is the watch you can wear to the office or out to dinner or on the cruise because, you know, the watch is so well made. and you're not going to hesitate to take this with you.
This is one of those other watches that we were talking about that your friend asked you. You know, what's a watch that makes somebody look like they've made it if they're in their 30s, but they don't have quite a big budget yet? That's what the stress-free payments are all about. Because even if $450 is just a bit too much for you to put down right now, $90 a month, and you're owning a $1,600 Swiss-made watch. And the thing that I love so much about stress-free payments is it is not a layaway plan, ladies and gentlemen. We don't wait until you've made all 5 payments to ship you the watch. We're going to ship you this watch after you make your first payment today. And we ship it to you for free. You've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're even on the fence about a watch like this, lock it in, because as we've seen with a lot of these Maurice Lacroix watches, and as we see typically with our Swiss-made inventory, it's always limited in our quantity. So make sure that you lock it in during the show so you get it with the stress-free payment option and the lowest possible price. 286-496. Of those 2 Miros, I obviously love the fancy one.
I like
Silver and
that
gold.
too. I really do. Maurice Lacroix has done a great job with their masterpiece collection. That's one of the collections that I have chosen for my own personal watches. And this one happens to have the ML129, which is a 25 joule automatic, and I'll show you that movement in just a second. But look into that dial. Now, a friend of mine who is a doctor in Daytona bought one of these watches in the limited edition version, and it is so much more expensive. Here is the exact same movement, but at a fraction of the price, because it's not in all gold. You know, that beautiful stainless steel looks incredible. Here's a Swiss-made watch with beautiful sapphire crystal, but look into the dial. Look at that texturing. You know, the dial seems to almost have multiple layers to it, because you have the very center, which has that almost geometric design running through. Remember spirograph? No.
I do remember it. I was thinking the same thing. You know, and what's cool about it is notice how it gets tighter
as you get to the
as you
center.
move. Yeah, isn't that cool?
It almost has a 3-dimensional quality to it. Then the small second subdial at the 6 o'clock position has a flat texture to it. Then the chapter ring that's holding the Roman numerals and the hour indices and the second markers really has its own look. But you also have a large date complication just under the 12 o'clock position and under the Maurice Lacroix logo. That's 2 date wheels, white wheels, black lettering, and then of course you have that beautiful, beautiful dual time. Now, what do you like most about this watch? What stands out to you as you look at it?
You know what I was thinking? Of course, I don't want to talk about this now. I'd rather just look at this beautiful movement inside. But this is a nice sort of way to have a 2-tone watch as well for maybe the gentleman or the lady out there that's not really into wearing something that's totally plated. Because you do get those pretty gold tone accents, obviously, on the rotor here, but also inside the dial. And you have to keep in mind that all of this texture and all of this decoration, that's done by hand. I mean, imagine that. Somebody sitting there and individually texturing these dials. This is not something where it's a machine coming down and printing it and pressing on it. That is somebody's own handiwork. And that to me is just, how do you even learn how to do something like that?
That is true craftsmanship. That is apprenticeship.
That you go to?
And because the cabinetiers, the watchmakers who happen to have the ability, to have the patience.
Yeah, that's probably why I would never be very good.
The hand, well, this is, you don't have to. All you have to do is call 877-969-8818 and they'll send it to you for only $300. That's your first of 5 stress-free payments. The fact that you're right, there is a measure of patience, of hand-eye coordination. You know, we can always tell our watchmakers here in the building, because not just we recognize them, but if you look at the multi-layer glasses that they wear, you know, with all the monocles that go through there that allow them to see the intimate work of the watch, knowing that somewhere in Switzerland someone is using that same skill, but not to repair, but for the very first time to make those marks on a blank template and to make this beautiful timepiece. This is handmade. You can't just throw the word Swiss made at the bottom of a watch because you like to do it. You cannot. Absolutely you cannot, Magic Voice, but you can't? What an innocent child. No, of course not. This is a $4,500 watch. That's why this and the rest of the watch world sells for this. Of course, it's a 40-millimeter case. You have that beautiful automatic movement in there, black crocodile strap, and of course there's a deployant clasp on here, which is going to help preserve that crocodile strap. we've marked it down to $1,499. There is no way anybody else on the planet is going to be able to touch this. I can tell you right now that when I was doing my research trying to find the small seconds out of the Masterpiece Collection, they were all between $2,700 and $3,200.
Really?
And because that was the discount off the $4,500 price. Really? No, that really is true. Nobody had this watch for $14.99 out there, except for us. So congratulations to us for offering it, and congratulations to you.
Congratulations to us.
Well, that's really is a
just
coup.
so fantastic. 286-511. Now, this next Maurice Lacroix watch is so new to our inventory. We're going to go right to it live. We don't even have a video shot for it.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's really cool because, as you've probably noticed this hour, we have so many new Maurice Lacroix watches that a lot of them we are going to live. This is another one from the Miros collection, so that more affordable luxury, if you will. It's a 32.5 case. And you know what? It's actually the first time I'll mention it this show. I always say a silver tone watch like this is a wardrobe staple. Ladies, this is the kind of watch that you can wear with anything. And the Maurice Lacroix Miros collection, which you'll see on their website, they do describe this collection as being the kind that you wear blue jeans or black tie. But having a silver tone watch like this is something that you'll always be able to wear. It's never going to go out of style because it's the kind of watch that's equal parts sophisticated, but also still feels very in fashion. Here, you've got all monochromatic silver tone, but notice how they don't keep it boring. They don't just stamp one flat silver tone dial on there and say they're done. In the center chapter, you've got that brushed finish silver tone, almost a satin brushing. And then notice the outer edge, where all of your hour markers are applied. It's all done in that record or CD texture. Now, of course, if you're like me, the first thing your eyes went to was the bezel, of course. Let's not forget about the fact that you've got these incredible diamonds set into the bezel. And what's amazing is Maurice Lacroix doesn't skimp. They don't give you imitation here or lower quality stones. That's why this watch is $3,400, predominantly for the diamond weight alone. You are just under a half carat of diamonds on your watch. Now think about that for a second. Having that timepiece that you can wear every single day, that is of the top echelon of watchmaking, a hand-built, Swiss-made watch, and to also know that it's diamonds. But they're so well done. This isn't a watch that feels flashy. It doesn't feel like it's trying to be something it's not. This is understated luxury all the way. $900? I mean, you are under $1,000 for a diamond Swiss-made watch. The stress-free payments for me are where it's at. Think about the kind of person that you are and how much you're able to afford on your watch hobby. Maybe you're looking to buy your very first watch. Maybe you want to treat yourself to something to celebrate, a milestone birthday, a new job, whatever it may be. Wouldn't we all love to go out and drop a couple $1,000s on ourselves? I know I would. But if that's not possible right now, look at the stress-free payments. $180 a month. You're way under 200 bucks, and look at what you can own. If you came into the show with a budget tonight, I say put the stress-free payments to use that way. If you're only going to spend $200 a month on a watch or $150 a month on a watch, make it with the stress-free payments. And that way you can pay off something that is well worth more than you'll ever pay for it. And again, with a watch like this, you're investing in a commodity with the diamonds. You're never going to buy a watch as an investment. But in something like this that has the commodity of actual diamonds on it, in a lot of ways, this watch is always going to be worth way more than you paid for it. The size is 32.5 so it's not too big at all. It's one of those sizes that even as you mature, will mature with you. It's slimline design. It's the perfect mix of mirror polishing and brushing. I mean, in essence, this watch really, for $180 down, in my opinion, is way underpriced, especially given all the value. Quantity is limited this hour, and of course, every single item does include the 10-slot black watch box. 286491 is the item number for this right here, the Miros. Now this next watch, 38 millimeters, I could talk about this watch all day long. I know this watch over and over again because I have made it my hot pick on the shows many times. Here's the thing. In my opinion, this is the better way to go. I love this watch. I have made this my hot pick many times. You have 40 points of diamonds set into the bezel. You have a Swiss-made ETA G10-211 quartz chronograph movement inside the Swiss-made watch. Yes, it's bigger, and now it has the addition of the chronograph. I like this style a little bit more. If you choose to use the stress-free payments, you're only out $20 more a month, a difference you won't even notice. And the list price is actually a lot greater in this case. It's a magic watch. Sometimes it totally disappears and becomes a Jean Richard. 272-277, the magic of live television. And in fact, we're going to go to another watch live right now. Maybe we'll remind you of that Miros again later, because I do love it so much.
It's a beautiful watch. But if that watch had to have a friend to go with it, it would have to be this one. Take a peek right there. This is absolutely just one of those classic.
I can't even see it.
Oh, here, let me turn that on. Go ahead. We're just going to make it take a peek.
Don't worry about you guys. Let me see.
We'll be back in just a second. Take a look at that. That's the Grand Guilloche GMT.
This is a new Maurice Lacroix.
Yes. Did you just push that away? Handle it. Do your work. This, I think, looks fantastic. And, you know, we do not always get a chance to manhandle the watches before we come in, so sometimes seeing them for the first time, it's true.
Only hosts.
They didn't see the microphone going on earlier. Take a peek at this beautiful Maurice Lacroix Pontos. Remember we said there's several different collections in the Maurice Lacroix line. One of them is the Masterpiece Collection, the Miros Collection, which we just saw moments ago. The Pontos Collection is also one of those collections that really is in a classic configuration, and this is a GMT. So when you look at the watch and you realize there's a 3-hand configuration there in the center, hour, minute, continuous operating sweep hand, large date complication at the 12 o'clock position, and then a secondary time zone. A hand-decorated dial, and look at the dimensions within it. You notice it's not completely flat. You have some areas that are recessed all the way down to that reverse chapter ring there in the secondary time zone. You can see it right there. It just is layered on there. All of this hand-applied, hand-done. And as I hit that dual push button, deploy it, and I'm able to open that, I want you to take a peek. Let's see if we can get that just right so that you can take a peek into the beating heart of the watch. Speaking of hand decoration, there is the Côte de Genève. Oh, that's good. That's good right there. That Côte de Genève is hand done, the Geneva waves. Behind that, you'll see little swirly things. That's pearlage, literally means pearl-like. And then you're able to look into the beating heart of the watch. The Pontos is all Swiss-made and gorgeous all the way around. That's a sapphire crystal, both front and back. And you can see the beautiful design of the watch. Notice that the shape is such that it's going to fit just right because those lugs drop down on the side. The watch is gorgeous. Now you can see the watch on my 6 3/4. That was smooth. That was good camera work, people. You know, this looks great on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. I think it's just the right size. And notice that because they've used a reverse date wheel, even at a distance, how easy it is to see the date.
You know what's interesting is this measures at 40 millimeters, and I think it looks larger than
It does. It really does. Have we actually done a physical measurement to make sure?
Yes, I know that this is 40 millimeters.
Well, it looks, because I am...
Are you questioning me?
No.
What did we talk about?
She's got a gun. But I'm just going to let you know that the watch does, I mean, that's my first thought. It feels...
Does I have a gun?
Is that the watch really does look larger than the measured size. I also love the fact that it has this satin finish through part of the bracelet and then the high mirror polish. Would your boyfriend wear this watch?
Yes, absolutely.
And do you think is this watch kind of age limiting? Is this like an older gentleman's watch, a young person's watch, or do you think it kind of has a timeless quality to it?
I mean, it has a timeless quality to it, of course. I mean, 40 millimeters, I think today, in this day and age, we're so trained into thinking that watches have to be so big. But if you look at what really luxury is, it's this traditional 38 to 41 millimeter range. And at 40 millimeters, it's perfect. I mean, you want something that's not too big so you can wear it comfortably every day to the office or when you're dressed up or even every day. And what I do like about it is it looks a little bit larger. So it's the kind of watch that maybe you're not quite, I know like your personal style, for example, you like watches that are a bit smaller. But I know as you've been seeing on the show for the past 6 months, you start to get into some of these bigger watches.
I didn't realize
so this
you
is
can
kind
wear
of
them.
perfect. You can wear something that still fits in that comfortable 40 millimeter range, but it has a much more eye-catching look, so it has a bigger presentation to it.
Doesn't this look incredibly clean? I mean, even though you have, because you think sometimes it's just going to be nothing else on the dial but just a flat dial and 3 hands. But look how much there is going on in this dial, yet it feels and looks clean. And it's not going to be $4,450, but you're going to be able to get it for $1,489. Only $298 gets this home. And we're going to pay for shipping.
All right, I want to remind you one more time that every single Maurice Lacroix watch from our second hour, both today and tomorrow, will include the 10-slot black watch box. You can see we started filling it in a bit. Here, you have 10 individual little compartments that you can put 10 of your most prized possessions. It's all lined with felt on the inside. You've got the see-through acrylic top, which is great so you can look at your watches at a glance. I also think it's great because it actually helps to keep your Super Luminova charged. Now here he's just putting another watch in so you can see. You can actually have 10, 48, 49, 50 millimeter watches in here, and none of them will touch each other or touch the top of the case. Obviously, Maurice Lacroix watches are a bit more petite than that, so we're just showing you.
Oh, we've had some big watches in here.
We've got some big watches in there. So this is per Maurice Lacroix watch. So you buy 5 Maurice Lacroix watches, good for you. You get 5 boxes. You buy 1, you get 1. Now the box is available. You can purchase it every single day at WorldofWatches.com. But we don't have it on the TV price and stress-free payments today because we want to incentivize you for something from our second hour.
Incentivize?
Doesn't that mean like provide an incentive?
It could be.
Is that not a word?
I don't know.
I swear I've seen it in an email before. All right, we are moving now. We're already in our third and final hour of our show today. We hope you guys are enjoying. Every single item on the show is on 5 interest-free, stress-free payments. So as we just saw in our Maurice Lacroix hour, and we will see in our third hour, this is really a show all about saving you money. It's not the kind of thing that, okay, I had to go to a jewelry store the other day to pick something up to be cleaned.
Oh.
And when you walk outside the jewelry store, they have the glass windows, and you can see this amazing jewelry. You just stop and you look at it, and you're like, oh, wow, one day, right? Or you see things underneath the glass inside the department stores, and you think, oh, wow, one day I would love to be able to own something like that. We are dispelling the myth that you cannot afford something like that because at World of Watches TV, we make luxury affordable. So whether you're looking for a $100 watch or a $40,000 watch, we will have something for you on this show and every day on our website, but specifically on the show and with 5 stress-free payments. So I'm going to say it again. Holiday season. We're in holiday season. We just had the Jewish New Year. We're less than 3 months away from the start of Hanukkah. Soon we'll be 3 months away from Christmas. So now is the time for you to start shopping. So that way when November and December rolls around and everybody's broke, you're like, no, I'm fine. I got money in the bank. I've been paying this off.
And it's interest-free, which unlike some of the, the credit cards that you might have to put stuff on, when you're getting money from us, we want to make sure it's as stress-free as possible. Go ahead and give us a call.
All right, we're going to, don't call me though. You can call him.
Megan's number is 9.
We're going to jump into a preview now. Here's what's coming up in our third and final hour. Kicking things up, look at this. A Lucien Piccard from the Eiger. This is a throwback. Nice. We have not aired the Eiger on the shows in a very, very long time. Here, this is a Lucien Piccard with a Swiss-made movement. You get a 5-year warranty on that. It's the ISA 8172. This is a more modest, I believe, 41 millimeter case here. And notice the beautiful silver satin brushed dial and then the Sunray subdials. That's all perfectly matched with a brown croco embossed leather strap. Again, Lucien Piccard is one of our brands, so we give you a 5-year warranty on the movement, and you're buying it practically at our cost at $65. Use the stress-free payments, $13 a month.
Don't you think that's amazing that watch is not even $65 with a Swiss movement?
Yeah.
Like I told you, I had to have a watch repaired, and it was not a terribly expensive watch, and the Swiss movement was $100 just to have that. Yeah, because that's what a jeweler would charge to have that put in, or more. And you're getting it at a fraction of the price. So that is a watch you can easily feel very, very good about.
139537.
Right behind that
the
is...
watch that tried to steal Maurice Lacroix's spotlight. Coming up, 273541. The 1681 Ronda. You know all about this watch, don't you?
I love this watch because it is one of those watches that when they were trying to create a watch that was just a classic look, that you could tell the time at a glance, that regardless of the era you're coming from, it's going to be the right watch. This is just that look. I almost want to call it the Men in Black watch. It's not, because that was a Hamilton Electric. But this watch has that look that no matter if you're dressed up at the office or if you're, it's, casual Friday, the watch kind of dresses with you. Because when you have that genuine alligator strap, if you're in a very dressy occasion, whether it's a tuxedo or a suit, this dresses up. But when you're in that button down in blue jeans, the watch is comfortable with you. It's one of those watches, if you had to have one watch with a leather strap, this is one of those that you could put on the list and go, okay, this is a winner all the way around. $4,900 for a Jean Richard, you better believe it, but that's what you're going to pay if you go to the jewelry store. The wow price of $34.29 is a great savings, but look at what we're doing for the show. $1,199 and only $240 gets it home. This is one of those, I'm going through my house, I'm going through my closet, I'm going through everything I can find, and I'm getting rid of stuff that I bought that I didn't let go of. And I realize and maybe you have this problem too. You get all the stuff and you end up with a lot of it, and then at some point you go, I'm going to have less stuff, but I want it to be better stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You have your, young person furniture, which may be, 2 blocks.
I still have young person furniture, by the way.
Because you're still a young
person.
I remember.
I mean, I don't have a futon anymore. I understand.
Okay, then you've moved on. But I would love when people get just like this brawn. Here's an $850 watch. If you're going to have something in this classic modern look to it, that sporty feel, go ahead and get something a little nicer and have one of them instead of 6 kind of cheapos lying around, wondering which one works or looks good enough to go out. This looks great. The Prestige chronograph is exactly what I'm talking about. I remember doing a product video on this. This is just a watch that has a great feel to it, a great look to it, and you can understand why somebody paid $850 for the watch. The wow price of $699 is saving you a lot of money. Here at dealer cost for the watch, that's what that is, the $425 price point, you're able to get a high-end watch at half the cost everyone else is paying for it. $85 gets it home. Again, maybe you need to minimize your world. Go with better stuff and less of them. 278585 for the Braun Prestige.
I think this is the first time we've ever aired Braun on our show before.
You don't remember? Maybe because I've seen it in product videos and not necessarily on the show.
286503, quick mention of my hot pick, the 35mm hand-built masterpiece. And it truly is a work of art here. You have the ML6066 automatic movement inside. Inside that beautiful hand-textured mother-of-pearl dial, you've got diamonds. You've got the day of the week, the calendar date, and the month of the year. You will only have to set this once every 4 years. Framing that beautiful dial are 50 individual diamonds, so a total carat weight of 83 points. There's a lot of bling on this 35mm watch. You have a genuine alligator strap on there. $2,700 is the price. Now that's down from $8,800. And then the stress-free payments. This is what I love. $540 down, but it's an $8,800 watch. 286503, my hot pick.
My hot pick is one of those watches that really is from one of the classic companies in the watch world, and that's Eterna, building watches since 1856. Here is that classic timepiece 3-hand configuration, hour-minute continuously operating sweep hand, and a date complication 3 o'clock position. Beautiful Roman numerals on the outer chapter ring of that dial. The watch really does look great. It's a 40mm case, 30 meters of water resistant. The ETA movement inside, invented by Eterna. The ETA 955 movement. The watch is only 8.5 millimeters thick, and that's a beautiful Croco embossed leather strap on there. The watch is $1,300 in the wild. The wow price of $644 is saving a ton of money, but the $189 price, Megan and I just want everybody to have one.
I think everybody should be ordering one of these, and honestly, the reason is because this is a $1,300 Swiss-made watch that you can get home for $38. I mean, that alone is such an incredible savings, even if it's not your style. Think about the value. Tuck this away in a drawer, give it to your father for his birthday, your boss for the holidays, your brother. This is something that someone in your life will love and enjoy and appreciate, even if it's not your particular style. Maybe you've got a friend that's getting married soon. What a great gift to give, right?
Oh yeah, and if you do want to stick this in a drawer, like you said, just buy it and stick it in a drawer, and then pretend like you discovered it. Don't tell anybody you bought it. You just go, look what I found in the drawer. And then you're going to have a $1,300 watch. Just a thought.
243663. Nice pick, by the way.
I love that. And this does come on a stainless steel bracelet, which is my absolute favorite, but it wasn't an option for the show, but it's an option on the website, and you can check it out. You're going to be very, very pleased. Now, let's shift gears to our Indiana Jones watch, one of our favorite watches. I mean, just listen to the sound of the leather on there. I mean, it just has a nice...
It reminds me of like a baseball glove.
It does. This kind of belting leather or this natural leather is going to take on a great patina over time because it's going to absorb the oils in the skin. It's going to just take on a completely different look. But it's not just a great watch to look at, but it's also a great watch to... Did I scare you guys? The people in the booth just went, incoming! That is really loud.
Yeah, it seems louder today.
It does. Maybe it's us. Folks, I just gave everyone in the booth a heart attack by hitting the button at the 4 o'clock position to activate and deactivate the alarm on this watch. Yes, this Luminox has an alarm on it. It's a great chronograph. It's a great Swiss-made watch. And you're going to love it too. We love the fact that this natural leather on here is going to just last for... Can you see how thick that is? I mean, look at that. They've done such a good job on picking just the right strap to really stand out against that dial. All Swiss made. You have a 3-hand configuration for the hour, the minute, and a continuously operating sweep hand as a small second subdial at the 3 o'clock position. 2 additional subdials for the chronograph, and simply hitting the pushers this time will not invoke any noise. It's just going to cause the chronograph to start up. You can see that it's going right there. There's our start. There is our stop. And there is our reset right there. There's a reverse date wheel right here, which is a black wheel with white lettering, which is a little different for what's inside of traditionally what you would find inside of a watch. Just doing a quick measurement on here, and the case is going to be at 45, right at 46 millimeters. And you remember when I hit this button right here, it made a noise. This is going to turn on and off the alarm. Just listen as you push that. Okay, that's loud. Rudy, isn't that louder than you normally hear it? And part of it is, there's an echo chamber built into the watch. Now, even though you wouldn't necessarily want to get this watch wet, it has 100 meters of water resistance. Of course, it is 316L surgical grade stainless steel. There is an anti-reflective coating that happens to be on that sapphire crystal, which you're going to appreciate that. And you also are going to appreciate the fact that the watch looks so good. Do we have lume on this? All right, well, I'm going to slip the watch on. They're going to slip to a lume shot in just a moment, and you're going to see how well this bold watch looks on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. Now, I call this the Indiana Jones watch because if Indiana Jones did have a watch, I feel like it would be as rugged as this. Now, Luminox hasn't been around since Indiana Jones, but they've been around since 1989, and they have captured the attention of everybody from the military to the space program. They build great watches. Now, as you saw a moment ago, you have these kind of little dashes throughout, which are actually tubes filled with tritium. Tritium is an inert gas that constantly glows. You don't have to put it in any sort of light source. It's always glowing. And at just the mere moment that the lights go out, you're going to see that glowing. Just like that. That happens to be the inert gas tritium doing its job, glowing, and it has a half-life of 20 years. So you've got a very long time before you even begin to see that fade. I think the watch looks great, and it's a price-protected brand. Simply stating, that means Luminox, they don't like to put them on sale. They like to hold their value. And that's why you're going to pay between $800 and $900 for this watch in the retail stores. Of course, you don't have to have that. It's going to be one of the watches that you can get for $559. That's the wow price. Or you can get it right now for $459.99, and we'll pay for shipping. And we'll give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. And you only have to put $92 down. That's it. That's your first of 5 stress-free payments. Congratulations to all of you who are picking up the Luminox. But if you want to take your game up just a little with something very high-tech, look at this watch.
So we aired an aeroscope in our first hour from Jean Richard, and it was on a rubber strap. And I mentioned that my favorite versions of the aeroscope are the ones that are available on the leather strap. And that's what we've got for you right here. It's a big watch. It's a 49 millimeter in a cushion-shaped case. You can see it's a square with rounded edges, and then your bezel itself and dial are in the shape of a circle. Here, you are looking at a vintage pilot-style design in a black and white complication. Give the crown a few good winds here to power up the movement inside, as you have the JR66 automatic chronograph movement. You can see when I use one of these little recessed pushers here to start my chronograph, and then I'm going to stop it. I've got a 12-hour totalizer down at the 6 o'clock position. So I could actually use this chronograph to time something for up to a full 12 hours. I love the black enamel of the Arabic numeral stick hour markers. And then notice how your two main hands, your hour and your minute hands, are also done in black, but they're almost cut away in the center, almost like they look like stencils. Now here, the entire watch has black DLC, that is diamond-like carbon coating. DLC is as the same as ceramic or sapphire, meaning it is incredibly, incredibly difficult to scratch the case or the bezel on this watch because you have diamond-like carbon coating, and that's what gives it this black look. It looks like black ionic plating, but it is so, so much more than that. You've got this beautiful etched, screwed-in case back, which protects, of course, your in-house JR66 automatic chronograph movement. And you'll notice that it's got this interesting brush finishing to it. And that's because it's titanium. Now, the watch is large at 49 millimeters, but imagine, if you will, I have this size down to my 6-inch wrist. Yes, it's a relatively flat case, but believe it or not, it fits even my 6-inch wrist. So this is something that, okay, ladies, maybe it's not your particular taste, but if you've got at least a 6-inch wrist and you do like the look, or you want to convince your significant other to purchase it for himself, you could share this watch with him. That's probably the strategy that I would do, right? I'd be like, oh, you should so get that watch. And then as soon as it came, I'd be asking to wear it to the office. Here, that's your customized closure. I wanted you to see that. It is a push button. Notice this beautiful black leather with the white contrast stitching. It's not a crockle embossed. There's no texturing on it. Because this is a vintage aviation design, they went with that smooth strap. Now, Jean Richard, this is my favorite little side note story about them. A couple of years ago, and I know we've talked about this on the shows before, there was that amazing, amazing pilot who, do you guys remember when that plane landed in the Hudson River? Mm-hmm. And I think his name was like Captain Sully is what they had nicknamed him or something. And he became a big hero, right? The plane was going to crash, and he was able to, thinking smart, like a good pilot, he landed the plane in the Hudson River. I'm sure you guys probably remember that. It was crazy on the news. Jean Richard actually made him an unofficial ambassador to their brand because of his heroism and how smart and amazing he was. And they actually designed an aeroscope collection to commemorate him and his achievements. Isn't that cool?
That is very cool. And, you know, being able to have a watch that is not just inspired by the aviation industry, but is using those same materials, such as that grade 5 titanium. The watch is very lightweight. I mean, the moment you pick it up, you realize you've got that. The strap is nice on that, too.
This is my favorite version. The rubber strap is really cool. He loves the titanium bracelet, but to me, this is the best way to go. I love the leather, I really do. And you know my favorite, I don't know if we have it on the show, maybe tomorrow, is the one that's got like the brown leather and the black. I think that one is just awesome.
And this is very easy to read at a glance, too.
Yeah.
And, of course, that's a fully functioning chronograph. Hitting that pusher at the 2 o'clock position is going to start it, stop it, and then hitting the pusher. And they almost look like crown protectors, but those are actually pushers on there. Easy to operate watch, and you're going to love the fact that you're getting a $5,600 watch for under $1,400. $280 gets it home. That's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments. And you're going to get one of the nicest high-tech watches out there that harkens back to a very, very old-school way of making watches, all by hand. 276398, the Jean Richard Aeroscope. Absolutely beautiful.
And we did air that rubber strap version in the first hour. It is still available while quantity is available. 281-816. We're going to Minneapolis with Ingersoll.
And the watch is about the size of Minneapolis because it's a 50-millimeter watch. Now, to me, that's a big watch. This is going to be the true test of whether or not they have done a good job. Now, this watch is an all-mechanical watch. Now, you'll hear us say this. If you're going to be a real watch collector, boy, I hate to put that kind of out there, but then, you know, you've got to have an automatic, you got to have a mechanical, you certainly have a collection of quartz watches. I mean, there's just some things that you're going to encounter. If you do not own a mechanical watch, this is a great way, because the last one we aired, the last mechanical we aired on here was, how much was it? $8,000?
That Maurice Lacroix?
That was originally $19,000. I'm not talking the wow price, because that was a $19,000 watch. Well, here's a $560 watch. I think it's still fun.
Absolutely.
And you're going to see why in just a moment. Huge a bit of real estate on that dial. Because of the very small bezel, even though the watch is 50 millimeters, just a little bit larger than some of the ones I've already worn, it's going to look bigger because of the small bezel. Look at the texturing. You can see the light hit it. It's almost like a spider web.
I was thinking also almost sort of like a globe, or if you're looking at a map.
Oh, that's good too. And Ingersoll, they do a lot of limited edition pieces. Here, you're looking at a watch that you're looking right through, because that is an open heart configuration. You notice you can see right through the watch. I think that is so cool.
Notice how big they made it. Sometimes we show you these open hearts, and you can sort of see that you can see through the watch all the way, but this is like a giant window on there. And I love that they screwed down the bridge complication over it. It's so pretty, too.
I think it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, you also have a small second sub-dial, which is right down here, that is rotating. Of course, you have all the functionality of that, but flip it over and you'll see the whimsy, the beauty. And just as I hold that right there, I want you to see that with any sort of mechanical watch, the simple motion of you winding it. Now, ooh, that's pretty tight, so I'm not going to do a whole lot there. But I can feel that just beginning to click in. Folks, if you have an automatic watch, you don't have to worry about overwinding it. With a manual, you have a certain amount of give that you can do before you start to feel the resistance. Oh, there you go. That just needed a few good turns. Now, these lines on here are called Côte de Genève. That means the Geneva waves. You're looking into the beating heart of the watch, and you're also looking into some things that make the watch valuable. Not just that crystal on the back, but how about the limited edition of this watch? There are not countless ones of these watches. 50 meters of water resistance, even in this mechanical dress watch. This is a watch designed to be worn every day, and the mere flick of your finger around that crown is going to wind it, and it's going to give you very reliable accuracy. Now I'm going to put the watch on. We're going to see with this style can I wear a 50 millimeter watch? Can Wiley wear it?
Can he do it, ladies and gentlemen?
I'm saying yes, I can. Why? Because Ingersoll, they are smart. We will not mention the names of the watches that we just go, really? Really? Fortunately, we don't have them on the show very often because Megan and I do have a little bit of say-so to go, oh, no. No, no, no. Okay, take a peek right here. Now, I've got this just sitting there so I can take that up. But take a look. Can you see right here how this makes a drastic turn down so that the lugs are making it so the watch is just anatomically the right shape to fit on a human wrist? There are a few watch companies, when they make their big watches, I don't know what they used other than a ham to put the watch on to see if it fits. If you have a smaller wrist, you can't wear a larger watch. This fits great at 50 millimeters. $560, you're going to pay $275. That's the wow price, but right now only $189.99. $33.80 gets it home. Do not hesitate to consider this for your collection. We love Ingersoll, and the Minneapolis Mechanical Limited Edition is a great, great bargain.
273-541. Now, you really love this watch, don't you?
I do. This is one of those watches that You know, you can throw a lot of bells and whistles on a watch and hope you get somebody's attention, and that's great if you're looking for the blingy watch. You and I, in fact, I sent you a video, or you sent me the video of the most complicated watch in the world.
Yeah.
It's like 10 minutes to show you the construction of the watch, and the watch is like $2.5 million. Okay, it has 21 different complications on it. It is beautiful all the way around. Okay, set that aside for a second. Look at this and realize the beauty and simplicity that Jean Richard has put into this handmade watch. Now, the fact that the watch is so ultra thin, yet it houses that great automatic movement, custom rotor, sapphire crystal, both front and back, of course, and you are able to look into the beating heart of that watch. Now, I need to give this one good shake or one good turn to make sure that it starts up, because the watches, of course, have been sitting in the vault for days and days and days, and just by giving that a bit of motion, you can watch that there's the heart beating back there. Now, you have stylized design with the Jean Richard logo built into the rotor, Cote de Genève on the next layer, and perlage in the very back. The watch has 50 meters of water resistance, all Swiss made. Both sapphire crystal front and back. You have a reverse date wheel, that's a black wheel, white lettering there at the 3 o'clock position, and the watch to me is absolutely stunning. Now, I'm going to slip the watch on, and you tell me what you think.
My favorite thing, well, one of my favorite things about Jean Richard is the amazing packaging that they give you. I wish we could show that. Maybe
Yeah,
on the
they
show
do.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have to get that out, because they
you can
really.
see in the shot, in the far away shot of the watch there, it's just everything. It's all custom.
It's elegant.
It's amazing. Yeah, it is.
There's an elegance about it. Now, this is truly a classic gentleman's dress watch. Ladies, if this is the right watch for you, do not hesitate for a second to consider it. Maybe how big the watch is. Remember?
42.
Maybe. Oh, wait a minute. It's maybe 41. It's just a millimeter off.
What's a millimeter among friends?
That's what we've always said. The watch is right at 41 millimeters, and I think it's just the right size to me. You know, it's not too high up so that if I had to put my sleeve down, I was buttoning this up, this is going to peek under there just right. It doesn't sit up so high that you're banging into it and you're not going to be able to wear the watch with a dress shirt at the office. It's that watch, like I said, if you're wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt, the watch is going to dress it down. You're wearing a tuxedo to go with your black tie affair, the watch is going to look great, particularly with this black genuine alligator strap and that blacked out high polished dial. You're also going to love the hour indices are in a mirror polish. They don't pop there, but when the light catches them just right, you see the bright work within the watch. You see it within the bezel. You see that, oh yeah, can you come on in? I want them to kind of maybe see. There it is, right there. Okay, that looks really good. That's showing you the hand polishing of all of these pieces. You have to understand each of those hour indices are hand applied to that dial. I mean, there is a watchmaker somewhere in Switzerland delicately applying each of those hands to that watch and making sure that everything goes flawlessly down to the second. $4,900? Sure, that's what you pay for a handmade Jean Richard watch. $34.29 is the wow price, and we like that price, but we can do better for the show for a handful of you, and there are limited quantities of these. $1,199.99, only $240 gets it home your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments. Love this watch. Love it, love it, love it. We hope you will too. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and that's also a price protection because we're going to guarantee that we have the lowest and best price. Congratulations to all of you who are getting the Jean Richard 1681. Now this watch has some weight to it.
This is really cool. 278585. I've never even seen this watch before.
I think you're going to appreciate the quality of the watch because it really is. I mean, it's a nice watch, and it's unique. I want you to take a look at it. Hold the watch because it's got 50 meters of water resistance. It's all stainless steel. There's a sapphire crystal in this watch. Before I show it to the rest of the world, other than the beauty shot, take a look at it and see what you think. Look how unusual it is on the back. And we'll show our audience that in just a moment because we want them to see it and to experience it. What do you think of the bracelet?
This is really cool. It's almost like a mix of being futuristic and retro at the same time.
Yes. Now, we're going to bring this into a live shot. And this is what I thought. This is kind of your futuristic watch. You know, Braun as a company has been around for a very long time, and they're putting their style into... Take a peek. Yes, Braun as an international company has been around for a very, very long time. There's your start, your stop, and there is your reset right there.
That's a Swiss-made Ronda movement inside. 5030D, actually.
And you know, think about that. Sapphire crystal, Swiss movement, all of this style. This doesn't, okay, why do I like it? You know the answer. It doesn't look like everybody else's watch.
Look at the integrated bracelet, how cool that is.
Yeah, they've really done a great job because it looks as if, you know, it's just kind of sitting up there, almost like it's, you know, on display, as well it should be. Here's an $850 watch that you're getting at jeweler's cost. You're getting it at the cost that the watch is normally sold to the people who are selling it to you. And it is a big and bold design. Now, I'm not even going to begin to guess at the size here because it really has an unusual look. Only 43 millimeters. It looks bigger.
I think it looks bigger because there are no lugs. So all
That's
you're really
right.
looking at is just this really wide dial opening with this slim line bezel and then just the perfectly integrated bracelet. So it's going to wear bigger too, I think. Or I know, I should say.
Now, once again, the ultimate standard in the universe, your boyfriend. Would he wear this
I'm not going to let him
watch?
watch this show.
No. Would he wear this watch?
Yeah, absolutely, because he wants something different too.
Now, see, so many things you've picked have been like the Maurice Lacroix or the dress watches. Why the Braun? Do you think it's sporty enough, or is it just unique enough?
I think that most of the time, well, his style is always all over the place with watches, because it's, if you ever see like what he'll email me from our website or from the show that he likes, they're like not from the same person. It almost seems his style is always very different. But one thing that he really does like so much are things that don't look like everything else. And here you could have something that is sort of dressed up if you wanted to, but it's just so different because of that bracelet.
And do you know what really stands out? It's just a tiny thing. Is that little pop of yellow.
And the pop of red.
Well, yes, I was considering to say that too, that you've got just a little bit of color thrown in there just to keep the eye interested. But it's not confusing. There is something almost very German about the watch. You feel like this would be the German train keeper's watch, you know, that somehow this would be the one to keep track of everything. And that's why I think you're going to appreciate the watch, is the unusual look, the style that is within it, the value of having that Swiss movement, sapphire crystal, the stainless steel, and the 50 meters of water resistance. Don't let it get away from you because you're getting it at cost. That's a jeweler's cost on that, and it's only $424.99 or $85. That's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments, 278-585, the Braun Prestige.
Sticking with things that are unlike anything else you probably already have in your watch wardrobe. 266-544. Now, my boyfriend would definitely wear this because he, like me, is a lefty.
This is one of those watches that Graham has certainly made their name by taking a watch and really putting their own stamp on it. And part of it is that trigger style pusher at the 9 o'clock position, and simply by taking the movement in this watch, which happens to be a 25 joule automatic, and putting it in upside down, you've now created a lefty, a watch that a left-handed person can wear with ease. But it's also a watch because of the oversized trigger that you right-handed people don't worry about wearing this on your left hand. They've put this on the opposite side so it doesn't bump into your wrist. Now, what you have is a watch that has a 42 millimeter case, a 25 joule automatic. It has 48 hours of power reserve within that watch. You have basically a watch that is a 2-hand configuration unless you're going to go ahead and push that, which is your trigger, which is starting your chronograph, which is going to keep track of your seconds and your minutes. Now, if you wanted to continuously leave it running, you could. But there is your stop, and of course, here is your reset, which would normally be at 4 o'clock, which is now at the 10 o'clock. You also have a date complication at the 3 o'clock position, and flipping the watch over, you'll see that snap down exhibition back that also has that beautiful etching of the Greenwich Observatory on the back. And you can see just a glimpse of the rotor through that exhibition window, but as I rotate the watch, you're going to be able to see the beating heart right in there. The watch is stunning. Stunning. And it's one of the watches that some of our friends out there that find us online, they comment about this watch because of how unusual it is, how either they want it or they have it, or they'll send us pictures of them wearing the watches. And we love the fact that you love the Chronofighter 1695. Now, I want to slip this on the wrist. I want you to see it, as it's being worn. And you can tell me if this 42mm case doesn't wear a whole lot larger because of the addition of that trigger style pusher at the 9 o'clock. Boy, that watch has a lot of presence to it. It really, really does.
This is one of those watches that even if I did not know anything about watches, it would catch my eye, and I would probably, if I saw a gentleman wearing this, I would be prompted to say something about it.
Well, and you're exactly right. Graham has been building watches since 1695, so I think they have their act together, and they have done a very good job. This is, of course, all Swiss made, sapphire crystal, both on the front and that small exhibition window on the back. You have a Swiss movement on the inside. At least 60% of the content, quality, and structure of this watch is Swiss, and its final inspection was in Switzerland. That is a lot of Swiss hands on this watch. $6,450. Now, when you think about this as a handmade watch, and you think of the watch collectors out there, do you see folks out there paying the $6,400? I mean, can you realize they are?
Of course. That's how Graham has been around for so long and how they're one of the most prolific watch companies out there, because people do pay this price.
And we have made people happy with our $4,500 price, because look what you're saving. You're saving $2,000. Realize we can't do it with everybody. We just can't. But for the TV show, they set aside a certain amount of watches. The bean counters somewhere tell us what we can do, and this is it. $2,299.99. Okay, that's insane. That is $4,000 off the retail price. But you've seen us do that with a $19,000 watch. You've seen us do that with a $300 watch, dropping it down to the basement. I mean, good heavens, our Michael Kors watches, which are normally in that $275 price
Same
range.
with Glam Rock. That's another
Glam Rock. Here's a $995 watch that you're going, is that really 99 bucks? Well, here it is, folks. We are proud to be able to offer it. We'll give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. We'll pay for shipping, and only $460 gets it home. That's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments for a pinnacle watch, a great collector's piece, and a watch that's just going to make you happy. If it doesn't, send it back. 266544, the Graham Chronofighter 1695.
Now, wouldn't it be a good show if we didn't have lots and lots of options of every sort of style and price point to give you? So we're going back to Ingersoll. Here's something fun. As you mentioned earlier, it's nice to be able to get something that's so affordable, but still feel like you can get something with a little bit of exclusivity. And that's what Ingersoll allows you to do, because they're all limited editions.
This watch is 93 grams. There's just some weight to this watch, because I picked it up and thought, oh, that's going to be a lightweight watch. Not so. I want you to take a peek at a watch that is the limited edition Yuka. Each time that we've put this on the air, it has been a great, great seller. It is a 29 jewel automatic limited edition piece, 50 meters of water resistance, and of course it's 316L surgical grade stainless steel making the watch. That's why the watch sells for $510. But take a peek at what some of our magic folks are able to do for us. Right as you come into the watch, you're able to see that beautiful textured, almost brick road style dial on the watch. You also have a 3-hand configuration, the hour to minute continuously operating sweep hand. You have a month complication, a day complication, a date complication, a 24-hour complication. You also have a uni-rotating bezel and 50 meters of water resistance within that watch. That is pretty incredible. Flip the watch over. By the way, you can tell, we can always tell the difference between silicone and rubber. Rubber has a much harder texture to it, but it's also very, very durable. Flip it over. And you know what? I love the fact that they have done these colors over the crystal Because it's so easy just to make this, well, look, it's like everybody else's. Nope. Ingersoll made it very unique with this splash of color on it. I think that looks great. Now, you can even see into the beating heart of the watch right there. That sure does look good. Now, if you think the watch looks good on the hand, wait till you see it on the wrist. Here is a $510 watch marked down to $251. That's it, $251. But you can get it during the show for $153.99. I think that is pretty incredible. Now, we'll take a peek at this. It's 48 millimeters, almost 49 millimeters on that case, measuring on the diagonal. But look at that on the wrist. Notice how this also, like the other 50 millimeter watch, plays on the wrist really well because they've allowed the strap to just drop straight down on the wrist, which means if you have a very large wrist, don't worry, we have lots of strap for you. If you have a very small wrist, which I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, it's going to look great. Here it is, folks, $510. $153.99 is a whole lot better, and only $30.80 gets it home. That's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments. We're delighted to offer this to you. It's a lot of value, and it's a lot of watch from a company with a strong American heritage and tradition. 281772. You are going to be pretty happy with it.
You're only, I mean, other than the 80 cents a month, technically you're basically at $1 a day for a watch like this.
Here is a watch you can't get for $1 a day.
Oh, I wish you could.
I remember doing product videos on this not too long ago. By the way, if you want to know more about the watches, there's a good portion of them. If you go to our website at World of Watches, you'll find that either Megan or I have made little 1 to 2 minute videos on the watches so that maybe you can see them a little bit more clearly, spend a moment, and play it over and over again so you can go, do I really like that? Yeah, you do.
How about this brand new version of the Chronomat? I haven't seen this one on the show before with the crocodile strap.
Oh my goodness. This is one of the watches. By the way, they have given you a deployant clasp on here so that you can protect your crocodile. No worries about that. Once that slips in there, you don't have to worry about putting the stress on the strap. The Chronomat series from Breitling. This is the 41, which means it's a 41 millimeter case. It has the Breitling B01 movement on the inside. It's an all Swiss-made watch that is a sapphire crystal, and it is a domed sapphire crystal protecting that beautiful dial. You have the 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, continuously operating small second sub-dial at the 9 o'clock, which is running right there. You have 2 screw-down pushers, which are designed to help with the water resistance of the watch. You simply unscrew these, and with giving them a push, you're going to be able to start and stop your chronograph. Now, if you like the gold tone on here, well, that's not gold tone. That is 18 karat solid gold on that bezel, which is why this watch has a $10,000 price point. I think the watch is absolutely perfect, and it's one of those that when you see it on the wrist, you're going to go, yeah, I would like that too. Do we have a lume on this, guys? We may, in the archives of Breitling, have it. Look at that on there.
Oh, this is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. And I have to tell you, no one is going to believe that you paid $5,400 for this.
We have had...
Not even the Breitling people.
No, we have had the Chronomat on the show with the bracelet, with the rubber strap, and for the first time now with the crocodile strap. And I love that it's solid gold. I mean,
you can tell it.
This is the ultimate two-tone because the gold on it is actual solid gold, the mother of pearl. I mean, you're wearing a Breitling watch for 50% off. Something that, you're right, Breitling would... I can't even believe we can do something like this.
Well, and the simple answer to that is we have it at $499 above dealer cost. I mean, that puts a measure of profit on this for us. You can hear it squeak as it goes out the door. But again, we don't have unlimited quantities. It's not like there's a warehouse somewhere with thousands of these and we're able to just push them out the door at $54.99. When our buyers find them, they have a philosophy here, and that is not, we'll hold on to it and find the right person and mark the price up as high as possible and we'll make a fortune. You know how Walmart is one of the largest companies in America? Is that they sell a lot of product at a very little cost with very little profit margin, but they sell a lot of it. So therefore, that's how they do it. That's our philosophy here. I mean, that's why you'll see our brands as well as these luxury brands at a fraction of the cost. $10,440 is what you're going to pay day in and day out. $8,000 at the wow price. No apologies, we've saved you a ton. $54.99, you got to be kidding me. Because only $1,100 gets this home. Congratulations to all of you who are getting the Breitling Chronomat 41 in the gorgeous 18-karat gold bezel.
Now moving up a size in the Chronomat to the 44, but we're also saying super sporty.
Oh, this is a good-looking watch. Yeah, this is one of those watches that, again, if you're able to get this home, you have done a good job.
You've done very well.
You've done very well. Well, but you know what? You don't. If you walked into the store and they showed you a wristwatch and it was $10,000, you might try it on and then walk out because if it sucker punches you with the price. But if someone said, "What if I told you can get it for half price, and you only need to put $1,100 down?"
Absolutely.
When do I come back and get? Oh no, we'll send you the watch right now.
I take it I have more than one.
Now you notice that there is more going on here. I wonder. I'm going to go ahead and take this out so we can just move the time a little bit, because you'll notice that there is a secondary time here, and it may confuse you if you don't realize that you actually have that going on. So let me move the hands a little bit, and then you're going to see that secondary hand. That red hand is actually your GMT hand, or your secondary, your Greenwich Mean Time. So whether you have somebody, again, across the country or across the world, you can tell time anywhere on the planet. You have your time as well as your secondary time zone. You have 3 additional subdials. One of them is going to operate as your continuously operating small seconds. And of course, you happen to have a chronograph feature. So simply hitting that, now you see all the chronograph subdials going to where they need to, ready for you to start the watch. Megan, this is a little bit larger watch. 41 or 44?
This is, in my opinion, Personally, I would wear the 41 because the 44 would be too big for my wrist. And I love of the 2 options that we've got the solid gold in the 41. But on a gentleman, I
mean, big? Just right?
No, absolutely not. No, it's perfect.
I think so too.
I mean, Michael Kors designs women's watches that are 45 millimeters. I don't think a 44 for
I've just been shamed into wearing a Breitling.
Yeah, how terrible.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. In today's watches, the 44 is not oversized at all. In fact, it's becoming the new classic. And you can see that this on my wrist has a great presence, from the high mirror polish that's within that bracelet all the way to that great curvature that is in that sapphire crystal that shows off that gorgeous dial with all the bright work. Because it is a GMT, it's not just a beautiful watch, it is a practical watch with a secondary time zone. Unirotating bezel on there is certainly going to help with the water resistance on that watch if you're going to take it out as a dive watch. It's one of the watches that really, really looks good. Don't let it get away from you. I think it is just the right watch, and I think you're going to think so as well. And that, again, that's 200 meters of water resistance on that watch. So yes, it makes a perfect dive watch, even though it's aviation inspired.
What a fabulous way to end our show with 2 amazing Breitlings for pretty much 50% off each. We are at the end of our 3 hours together, so what we're going to do is we're going to recap. We're going to start with the best-selling item of the show and trickle down from there until we say goodbye. We are back out here again tomorrow with a brand new lineup. We will revisit some of these bestsellers, of course, and our second hour will be all Maurice Lacroix watches, just like we saw today. But definitely don't miss out on tomorrow's show because we've got a whole new lineup to share with you. All right, let's see what the #1 seller is.
Oh, this makes me happy because not just because I picked it, but because
I was going to walk around the studio with his chest puffed out, going, "I got the #1 seller."
Because I want as many people as possible to get in on this deal because it really is phenomenal to get an Eterna at this price. Here is, with the ETA 955 movement, 30 meters of water resistance, 40 millimeter case, all Swiss made, only 8.5 millimeters thick. It is truly a jewel, and congratulations to all of you who picked it up. You have a beautiful, beautiful dress watch. Right behind that is going to be the Lucien Piccard Camelot.
42 millimeter, I'm sorry.
No, please, because I know that you love the rose tone on this watch.
I do love the rose tone on this watch. It's all rose tone on the case and bracelet and bezel. You've got rose tone in your subdials for the VD54 with date, Japanese chronograph quartz movement. Then you've got a black dial and then the white outer tension ring where you've got the tachymeter scale. $100, 42 millimeter case. Again, 5 payments of $20, 244-596. You also get a 5-year warranty on that movement inside.
Right behind that, oh, I'm so glad that this did so well because it's truly a beautiful watch. When you get it home, you're not going to send this one back. Yes, we take our watches back, but this one's not going to make it because it's going to stay with you. The limited edition Snake, don't let the name fool you. It is really a beautiful watch, whether it's that coin edge all the way around the bezel to the beautiful back with that exhibition style. When you see that in there, you're going to know you've got quality because it's a $470 watch, but only $129. You better believe it. Go ahead and place that order. You won't regret it. Add it to your collection.
I didn't even notice that the top pusher's done in red. The 40 millimeter Miros from Maurice Lacroix. Every single Maurice Lacroix watch will include the 10-slot black watch box. Here you've got the two-tone, my favorite, yellow gold tone and silver tone. Silver and gold tone dial as well. It's a classic 3-hand with a 3-hand ronda, quartz movement inside, and a Swiss-made watch, sapphire crystal, of course. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. You want to start wearing Swiss-made luxury. You want to add value to your watch collection. If you put down $90, we'll ship you a $1,600 watch. Remember, the payments are interest-free. 286-496. Coming up right after that, the exact same watch, except black and silver tone. So now it's the sportier variation. Once again, it's a $450 price or 5 months at $90 interest-free. That means you will only pay $90 a month. 286-500, 40 millimeters once again for the Maurice Lacroix Miros 3-hand.
Right behind that, we were just talking about Glam Rock. It's one of those watches that really does show off the Miami lifestyle. And this racetrack GMT is really pulling from a very, very fast lane. You're going to love the carbon fiber dial. You're also going to love all the style that is within the watch, not just in the dial. You have a large date complication there at the 12 o'clock position, 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, continuously operating sweep hand, and a secondary time zone there at the 6 o'clock with its own individual crown to operate it. Very easy to set this watch so that you'll hear us say it, whether you have friends across the country or across the world, you can keep up with them with this beautiful watch, and you'll do it in style. Not at $695, but less than $100, you better believe it, $99.99, and only $20 gets it home. It's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments. Right behind that, one of my favorite watches, the Bulova Precisionist. Now, the Precisionist happens to be the most accurate quartz movement on the planet. Not only is it accurate within 10 seconds per year, but it also has a great chronograph function that is accurate to within 1/1000th of a second, and you can see it on that retrograde subdial at the 6 o'clock position. $8.99 day in and day out at your mall, but not with us. $369.99. You better believe it. With only $74, you get it home, and we'll even pay for shipping. 212482, the Bulova Precisionist.
Regretfully, we did not get a chance to air this $10,000 Le Classique from Maurice Lacroix. 189391, but it did not stop you from picking it up. You have a solid gold watch.
Gorgeous.
Solid gold. How's that solid gold Maurice Lacroix feel on your wrist?
You know, the fact that I got an $18,000 watch at a fraction of the price feels really good right now.
Bet.
Just like anybody that picks this up.
$2,800, even better though. Use the payments. $560. $560, ladies and gentlemen, for a solid gold $10,000 watch. 189391. Coming up right after that is the X1 chronograph from Ebel. 284-280. $1,000 for a $3,000 Swiss-made professional diver. Use the stress-free payments. That's where you're going to get the most value here. It's going to set you back $200 tonight, but you've got 4 months at $200 interest-free, but you're wearing a $3,000 watch the entire time. 284-280.
Right behind that, the Maurice Lacroix Miros. Now, whether you have a gentleman's watch or a lady's watch from the Miros collection, you know that you have quality. Here is a $1,300 watch and a classic configuration, 3-hand, hour, minute, sweep hand, and that date complication. And it's going to look stunning in that high mirror polish 316L surgical grade stainless steel. Again, all Swiss made from the sapphire crystal to the movement inside. $339, not $1,300. Only $68 gets it home, and you have a true classic for generations to come.
Coming up right after that is the 48mm Lucien Piccard Monteviso featuring the Glacier Blue dial, the best-selling dial color of our company-owned watch brands. Silver tone for that 48mm case, 5-year warranty on the VD54 with date quartz chronograph movement. Yes, $50 is the total price, $178,679. Coming up right after that, my hot pick. Congratulations, ladies. One heck of a watch. 286503 of 83 points of diamonds in a hand-built Swiss-made watch. Features the ML6066 automatic movement inside. It's a near $9,000 watch for $2,700. 5 payments of $540, $286,503. And the 40mm Eiger from Lucien Piccard 139537. This features the Swiss-made ISA 8172 day-date quartz chronograph movement. 5-year warranty on that. Sapphitech crystal, $13. Yes, $13 gets it home. 139537.
We are so glad that you've joined us here at Swiss Watch International's World of Watches. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel, with more great watches. Thanks once again from Megan and myself.